Attention, you glorious narcissists! Are you tired of living a life untainted by tiny chains, protein shakes, and humble brags? Well, good, because your salvation has arrived. Introducing the art of the anti-influencer, a filthy, bombastic parody guide detailing exactly how to dress like a discount pimp, pose with cars you do not own, and laugh maniacally at nothing for profit. Why Amazon Kindle, you ask? Because it's cheap, it's immediate, and it lets you pollute your brain with my thunderous prose while pretending you're reading for self-improvement. Ha! Spoiler, it's not an improvement. It's glorious degeneration. And because I am benevolent, like a champagne-soaked messiah, I shall give you the audiobook version of this masterwork for free inside this very video. Yes, no upsells, no scammy courses, no bot followers, just my velvety thunder echoing straight into your ears. So smash that description link, buy the Kindle edition today, and then sit back and enjoy me screaming about ramen, Lamborghini rentals, and the cult of mirror selfies. All for free.
The Gospel of the Anti-Influencer. Picture it, dear reader, the digital stage, a soulless coliseum of ring lights and collagen lips, where every bronze-skinned Adonis bellows about the grind while squatting half an avocado. And into this swirling pit of idiocy enter you. Yes, you, my magnificent soon-to-be wanker. You've picked up this tome, not out of academic pursuit, heaven forbid, but because some hideous part of your loins whispered, I too wish to be admired by idiots on the internet. And I, your velvet-voiced Virgil, shall guide you through this inferno of hashtags, likes, and synthetic protein farts. This is not a polite handbook. No, this is a filthy survival manual, a kind of Kama Sutra for the terminally online, except instead of exotic positions, you'll be taught the precise wrist angle required to display your Rolex while pretending to drink sparkling water. I shall hurl you, yes, hurl through the gates of anti-influence. The discount pimp shirts, the rented cars that smell faintly of Axe body spray, the rise and grind schedules concocted by people who couldn't organize a wank in a brothel. Why? Because mediocrity, dear reader, sells. Genius terrifies people. Wit alienates them. But mediocrity, wrapped in a chain necklace and delivered with an orgasmic brew, will earn you a sponsorship deal faster than you can say use my code. So strap in, unzip, or do whatever filthy gesture most arouses your entrepreneurial spirit. For within these pages, you shall learn how to absolutely debase yourself online for profit, and by God, you'll enjoy it. Now polish your ego, moisturize your ass, and prepare for ascension. Chapter 1. Dress like a discount pimp. The first and most sacred law. The influencer is not about wisdom, nor wealth, nor even the relentless pursuit of validation. No, it's about looking like a man who has never once cooked his own meal, nor paid for sex. Honestly, this is your uniform, your armor, your sweaty polyester cape that signals to the world. I have achieved nothing, and yet I must be seen. Yes, the sacred beginning. The wardrobe. Before you can brand yourself as an influencer, before you can vomit inspirational captions into the ether, before you can stage a fake breakdown in front of a ring light, you must dress the part. And not just any part. Nay, you must look like a man who has never once cooked his own meal. You must resemble the bastard offspring of a casino floor manager and a used car salesman who moonlights as a magician in Ibiza. Let us dispense with all notions of class, of subtlety, of taste. Those belong to dead men. If you, my sweet disciples of the algorithm, wish to seduce the gawping masses of social media, you must cloak yourself in garments of such spectacular bad taste that even Elton John would whisper, "Steady on, old boy." The chain of infinite regret. It begins, as all influencer outfits do, with the chain. No influencer dares bare his neck unadorned, lest the world discover his true vulnerability. That without metal draped upon his collarbone, he's nothing more than Greg from Croydon. And it mustn't be a bold chain. Oh no, not a noble, thick, mafia-grade crucifix of gold. That would suggest real money. And influencers, let us be clear, have never possessed real money. Only the illusion of it. Instead, one drapes about oneself a faint, delicate chain, the sort that looks as though it once secured a bath plug. A chain so tragically fragile that if a pigeon sneezed within 50 yards, it would snap like a breadstick. The influencer touches it constantly, as if by rubbing the poor thing he might summon respect. He tugs at it in interviews, twiddles it during photo shoots, gazes at it in the mirror with the devotion of a monk studying a relic. And for a moment, in the harsh LED lighting of a rented studio apartment, he almost convinces himself, yes, I am powerful, I am dangerous, I am shiny. The shirt of shimmering desperation. Next, we consider the shirt, if one can even call it that, for in truth it is more of a second skin. The influencer's shirt does not hang casually upon the body like a gentleman's cotton. No, it clings, it grips, it sucks at the torso like a polyester leech, outlining every sinew, every pectoral, every tragic tattoo of a lion that looks suspiciously like a house cat. The patterns, my God, the patterns. Influencers do not wear solids. Solids are for accountants, for geography teachers, for men who buy furniture at IKEA and assemble it themselves. No, the influencer's shirt must scream louder than his personality. Imagine an explosion in a paint factory, immortalized in fabric. Imagine a jungle beast stitched together with fragments of neon signage. Imagine, if you dare, the tacky wallpaper of a cheap Vegas motel, reborn as an influencer's uniform. And of course, it must be unbuttoned. Not a tasteful unbuttoning, mind you. Not a polite glimpse of clavicle. 3 buttons at minimum, preferably 4. The influencer's chest, pale, sunburned, or artificially bronzed to the hue of a roasted turkey, must be on display. And if no hair sprouts naturally from this valley of shame, then hair shall be purchased, glued, or drawn with a Sharpie. The trousers of crushing fate. And then, yes, the trousers. They are no mere garments. They are shackles. Skinny jeans so tight, they whisper to your testicles, "We may never meet again." Denim is so constrictive that even mannequins wince. You see, the influencer's legs are not for walking. They are not for dancing, nor running, nor any activity that requires blood flow. They exist only for posing. Posing on the bonnet of a rented Ferrari, posing on the pavement outside a nightclub he was too drunk to enter. Posing, in essence, for death itself. And so the trousers serve not as clothing, but as an unholy pact. I sacrifice circulation, says the influencer, in exchange for the sweet nectar of likes. And circulation flees his body, retreating from thighs and calves, leaving behind only numbness and regret. I once encountered a lad outside a bar in Shoreditch whose jeans were so tight he had to be carried to the ambulance by 3 bouncers and a kebab vendor. They slit the denim open at the emergency ward like surgeons cracking a sarcophagus, and within his legs emerged pale, trembling, as though they had seen horrors beyond comprehension. And still, as he was wheeled away, he whispered through cracked lips, "Worth it, bruv." Followers went mad. The accessories of vanity. Accessories, my dear supplicants, are the final touch, the garnish on this foul banquet. Sunglasses indoors, for no influencer dares allow their eyes to betray the emptiness within. White trainers, so blindingly clean they look as though they've never touched earth, carried instead by servants through puddles and piss-stained cobblestones. And always the watch. The influencer's watch is never his own. It is borrowed, rented, stolen from a cousin, or offered as collateral to a pawnbroker. He does not know the time, for time is irrelevant to him. He only knows that when he gestures flamboyantly in a boomerang video, the watch must glitter like a lighthouse guiding his followers into the rocks of bankruptcy. A tragic tale of polyester glory. Permit me to regale you with the tale of one Tristan Flex Malone, yes, him again, for he serves as the archetype of all that is sacred in this chapter. Flex wore shirts so synthetic they could have doubled as tarpaulins, chains that left green stains upon his neck, jeans so tight he walked as though perpetually clenching, and for a brief, shimmering year, he thrived. Sponsorships, followers. He sold diet tea that caused mass diarrhea across Hull. He flogged protein powders made from sawdust. He posed in every nightclub within a 30-mile radius, a minor god in the pantheon of morons. And then catastrophe. Attempting to film a TikTok dance involving deep squats, his jeans gave way. The seams erupted like artillery fire. His chain snapped. His shirt buttons ricocheted across the dance floor, one striking a bouncer's pint glass. All captured naturally on Instagram Live. His followers mocked him. His sponsors fled. Overnight, Flex descended from Olympus into irrelevance. Last I heard, he was flogging bootleg vape cartridges from the back of a Vauxhall Corsa. His only accessory, an ankle tag, the holy trinity of garments. Tiny chains. Not quite jewelry, not quite a dog tag, more like a tragic metallic loop clinging to your neck like the ghost of a failed engagement. These chains serve one purpose only, to give the illusion that you have weight. Spoiler, you don't. Example, if your chain does not look like it was bought in an airport vending machine, you're doing it wrong. Tight shirts. Yes, shirts. Your shirt must be so offensively tight that strangers can diagnose your digestive issues from across the room. It should cling to your body with the desperation of a drunk ex. Pro tip, if your nipples aren't pointing due north like a pair of spiritual compasses guiding lost sailors, you need to size down. Tattoo, arm sleeves, bonus points if they're meaningful. A lion with a crown perhaps, or a Roman numeral denoting the date you lost your virginity to yourself. Remember, originality is dead and so is your dignity. Anecdote. Picture it, a nightclub in Essex, the strobe lights flash. The music is a repetitive banger named something like Bass Fart Remix. You enter, every man looks identical. Tiny chains glint, shirts suffocate torsos, hair is gelled so stiff it could deflect bullets. And then it happens, a girl shouts, "Oi, which one of you's Kevin?" And every single man turns around. That, my friend, is the power of the uniform. Final commandment. And so, my would-be icons of digital degeneracy, you now know the truth. To dress like an influencer is to reject comfort, dignity, and common sense. You must look at yourself in the mirror each morning and ask, do I resemble a discount pimp? And if the answer is yes, then congratulations. You are ready. You will choke your thighs in denim. You will suffocate your torso in polyester. You will adorn your neck with jewelry that screams cash converter's bin. You will blind the public with sunglasses worn at midnight, shoes polished by the tears of the underpaid. And in this pitiful costume, you will stand tall, a beacon, a lighthouse of desperation in the stormy seas of the internet. The discount pimp, patron saint of influencers everywhere. March forth, you polyester apostles, for the world is ready to scroll past your photo and mutter, Christ, look at this twat. Chapter 2. The exotic car, where the humble hatchback is banished, and only roaring beasts of polished fraudulence will suffice. The car. The automobile period. The almighty chariot of vanity. If the influencer's body is his temple and his wardrobe his priestly robes of polyester shame, then the car is the cathedral itself, a rolling altar upon which he sacrifices dignity, financial solvency, and often his own testicles when the suspension inevitably collapses. No proper influencer would be caught dead in a Ford Fiesta or a Honda Civic or, Christ forbid, a Nissan Micra. These are cars for people with jobs. Cars for people who go to Tesco and buy hummus. Nay, you must present yourself to the world in nothing less than a beast of European engineering, preferably painted in a color so violently ostentatious it could be spotted from the International Space Station. Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, or at the very least, a leased Audi R8 with a gearbox that screams louder than your stepfather when he found out you'd dropped out of business school. You do not own this car, of course, you will never own it. Your bank account has the constitution of wet tissue paper, and your credit history resembles the Book of Revelations. But you will pose, my friend, you will pose as though this wheeled monument to bad decisions was forged in your loins. The ritual of the car park pose. Observe the influencer in his natural habitat, the car park of a gym he has never actually entered. There he stands, leaning against the bonnet of a rented Lamborghini, sunglasses on, chain twinkling, shirt open to the navel. The caption will read something like, "Hustle until your haters ask if you're hiring," and the likes will trickle in, each one a tiny bead of validation upon his sweaty brow. He will not drive this Lamborghini, of course. The insurance policy alone would demand his kidneys and a written apology from his ancestors. No, the car is merely a prop, a metal peacock's tail designed to lure the algorithm's approval. And oh, the rituals. The hand clasped in prayer upon the steering wheel, eyes closed, as though communing with God through the Bluetooth system. The casual lean against the driver's side door, thighs straining against denim as if to say, "Yes, I may enter this vehicle at any moment, provided the rental company does not notice I exceeded the mileage limit." There is even, on rare occasions, the full interior shot. The influencer sits behind the wheel, one hand upon the gear stick, the other raised as though conducting a symphony of bollocks. He looks off into the distance, eyes filled with false wisdom, and for one glorious moment the viewer thinks, "Christ, he must be successful. Look at the leather upholstery." The rental catastrophe. Of course, the truth is more sordid. Most influencers rent these cars by the hour. The more frugal ones rent them by the minute, sprinting into the car park like shoplifters, snapping as many photos as possible before the timer runs out. And always, the disaster looms. Consider the saga of young Reggie Cashflow Dempsey, a lad of 22, face so smooth it looked permanently greased, chest hair tattooed in biro. He wished to impress his followers with a Lamborghini Huracan, rented for the weekend at a cost equivalent to the GDP of Liechtenstein. He posed. Oh, how he posed. Arms crossed upon the bonnet, keys twirled theatrically. A caption beneath one photo read, "Don't chase women, chase goals. Goals will buy you the Lamborghini. Women will follow." And then tragedy struck. For in his arrogance, Reggie decided to drive the Lamborghini to a petrol station. There, in full view of the public, he discovered that he had no earthly idea how to open the fuel cap. He pressed, prodded, begged, and cursed. He consulted YouTube tutorials while a queue of angry motorists honked behind him. At last, defeated, he fled, leaving the Lamborghini with half a tank, a rental contract in tatters, and a video of his failure circulating on TikTok under the hashtag #petrolpillock. His followers increased, yes, but only to mock him. His sponsorships evaporated. Last I heard, he delivers pizzas from the back of a Vauxhall Astra, captioning each delivery, "On my grind, hustle never sleeps." The curse of the Audi R8. The Audi R8 deserves special mention, for it is the influencer's favorite fallback. Ferraris are expensive, Lamborghinis rarer still, but the Audi R8? Oh yes, that is the everyman's supercar. The Toyota Corolla of desperation. Influencers flock to the R8 like moths to a fluorescent strip light. They pose with it outside gyms, nightclubs, funeral homes, anywhere the ground is flat enough to allow a tripod. And always, the captions drone on about financial freedom, the grind, never giving up, as if owning a mid-tier Audi somehow elevates one to the pantheon of Bezos and Musk. Yet beware, the R8 is cursed. I have seen more influencers humiliated by this car than by any other. Doors are refusing to open, gearboxes grinding into oblivion. One unfortunate fellow attempted to rev the engine for an Instagram story, only for the bonnet to erupt in smoke like a Victorian train. He posted the video anyway, claiming, "Real bosses handle setbacks." The comments, merciless. "Your car sounds like my nan's Hoover." The tragedy of the fake Ferrari. But let us not forget the most blasphemous of all sins, the fake Ferrari. Yes, there are men creatures so destitute of pride that they take a humble Toyota MR2 or a Mazda MX-5 and slap upon it the body kit of a Ferrari. These mutant machines prowl the streets like Frankenstein's monsters, fooling no one but the influencer himself. I recall a wretched fellow named Tony Stacks Marlowe. He rolled up to a nightclub in what appeared, at first glance, to be a cherry red Ferrari. Women fluttered, men scowled, doormen nodded with feigned respect. And then, as Tony attempted to rev the engine, the unmistakable whine of a 1.8-liter Toyota shattered the illusion. The crowd howled. A child pointed and cried, "It's not real, mummy!" Within moments, Tony was reduced from god to clown, his Ferrari exposed as nothing more than fiberglass treachery. Yet still, he posted the photos, captioned them, "Success leaves clues. This is mine." And his followers, oh, they loved it. Not with admiration, but with ridicule. For nothing drives engagement quite like failure. The theology of horsepower. Why, you ask, do influencers tether their very souls to these machines? Because the car is nota a transport. It is a theater. The car is not meant to be driven. Perish the thought. Driving is for postmen and plumbers. The car exists to be leaned upon, to be gestured towards, to be caressed like a lover who knows all your safe words. It is a prop in the grand circus of self-delusion. And like all props, it need not be real. It need not be owned. It need not even function. It needs only to appear. For in the influencer's universe, perception is reality, and reality is negotiable. You will not pay the insurance. You will not fill the tank. You will not, for the love of God, check the oil. You will simply stand there, shirt undone, chain glittering, and whisper into the night, "I am successful." Ignore the rental agreement stuffed into the glove box. The car is not a vehicle. It is a phallus on wheels, a rubber-screeching cathedral to mediocrity. And for the influencer, it is as vital as oxygen, teeth-whitening strips, and crippling narcissism. For what is an online messiah without his chariot of chrome, a sad man with a selfie stick? That's what. The ritual of the car pose. It is not enough to merely rent the car. One must commune with it. One must pose, arms folded, jaw clenched, one foot slightly forward, as if preparing to urinate on a lamppost. The three sacred poses. The lean. Perch your denim-encased arse against the bonnet like a greasy gargoyle. Angle your sunglasses toward the horizon as though pondering investments in uranium futures. The door hinge grab. Keep the door open, hand gripping it lovingly. Pretend you're mid-journey to something important. You are not. You are going back to Greg's. The roof perch advanced. Squat atop the vehicle, squinting like a constipated hawk. Ignore the rental contract that specifically forbids it. The inspirational caption, mandatory. No car photo is complete without a caption dripping with false humility. Last year I was broke. Now look at me. You still live with your mother. Grateful for the grind. You Venmo'd your mate for petrol. Manifestation works, bro. You manifested a maxed out credit card. The illusion of ownership. The exotic car is rarely owned. It is borrowed, rented, or begged for. Yet the influencer must always imply ownership. Lies to deploy liberally. Yeah, I've got a few of these in the garage. Garage equals your cousin's shed. I only take this one out on weekends because the rental company wants it back on Monday. I don't even care about cars, bro. It's just a tool. Yes, and you are that tool. Sidebar, the repo man, behold him. Lurking in the background of every influencer photo, a spectral figure with clipboards and dead eyes. He waits. He knows. For every Lamborghini, there is a Lenny, the repo agent who arrives when your grind set fails to cover the lease. The Essex Lamborghini. I once witnessed an influencer in Essex. He strutted out of a tanning salon. Chain, glinting, shirt so tight it looked vacuum sealed. Outside, a rented Lamborghini gleamed under the car park's halogen lights. He leaned against it. He whispered to a nearby civilian, "It's all about discipline, bro. That's why I drive this." Moments later, the rental clerk appeared. "Excuse me, sir. Your 3-hour slot has ended." The influencer, unbroken, snapped 30 selfies as the car was towed away. His followers would never know. To them, he was still a titan astride the mechanical beast. In reality, he caught the bus home. Closing commandment. And so, disciples of the algorithm, remember this. Your journey to influencerhood is not powered by fuel, but by fantasy. You need not drive the car. You need not own the car. You need only worship the car as one worships a golden calf, with blind devotion, sweaty palms, and the occasional credit card fraud. When you next lean against the bonnet of a Lamborghini you cannot afford, remember the saints who came before you. Tristan Malone, Reggie Dempsey, Tony Marlowe, martyrs of horsepower and hubris. They burned brightly, then crashed spectacularly into the median strip of public mockery. But you will learn. You will pose better. You will rent smarter. You will rev louder, caption harder, and edit out the moments when the bonnet smokes. And in time, you will ascend. So stand tall, grip your tiny chain, adjust your suffocating shirt, lean against the Lamborghini as though it were your own, and let the world scroll by, muttering in unison, "Christ, look at this prick!" Chapter 3, The Sacred Routine, aka the Cult of Obvious Advice, in which grown men wake at dawn to drink kale piss, scream at mirrors, and call it wisdom. Ah, yes, we arrive at the third pillar of influencer enlightenment, the routine, the sacred routine, the day-to-day ritualistic bollocks that transform a man from Simon, who works at Curry's PC World, into Simon, the titan of success, slayer of poverty, and apostle of passive income. No influencer can simply roll out of bed like a normal human being, wipe the crust from his eyes, and stumble toward a toaster. No, He must awaken as though summoned by the gods themselves, thrashing from his duvet like a salmon possessed. Every waking moment must be scripted, choreographed, weaponized. His life transformed into a sequence of life hacks that he regurgitates into the ears of gullible teenagers at 99 pounds a webinar. These routines are not practical. They are not even sane. They are performances, theater, a sweaty stage play of productivity, and you, poor disciple, must follow along, believing that waking at 4 in the bloody morning to dunk yourself into a bin of ice water is the one thing separating you from owning a fleet of Lamborghinis. The ritual of the alarm. The influencer does not wake at 9. He does not rise at 7. He ascends at 4 a.m. Yes, 4 o'clock in the morning, when the rest of us are still grunting into our pillows, dreaming of sandwiches. He leaps from bed, shirtless, drenched in self-importance, declaring, "The early bird catches the worm, brother." What worm? He never explains. Perhaps it is the worm of success. Perhaps it is a literal worm wriggling in his protein shake. Regardless, he insists upon this ungodly hour because nothing screams productivity, quiet, like being awake while the bin men still stagger about in fluorescent jackets. And he does not wake to an ordinary alarm. Oh no. The influencer's alarm is a battle cry, a foghorn, a recording of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson shouting motivational slop. He blasts awake like a paratrooper under attack, because heaven forbid he simply wakes peacefully like a normal bastard. I once knew an influencer named Byron Alpha Kent who set his alarm to play the sound of lions roaring. Every morning, his neighbors thought a safari had exploded in East London. By day 3, someone called the council, believing an actual lion was roaming the borough. Byron was fined for noise disturbance. His followers doubled. Why? Because apparently insanity is inspiring. The Mirror Sermon. Having risen at 4, the influencer must immediately address his reflection. He cannot simply brush his teeth, no. He must scream at himself. Yes, he must roar affirmations into his own face, as though attempting to frighten his soul out of hiding. "I am a king," he bellows. "I am destiny's favorite son. I am the architect of my own reality." His flatmates cower. His dog weeps. The mirror itself longs to shatter and flee. But the influencer continues, veins bulging, eyes bloodshot, shouting nonsense until the words lose meaning and he collapses into panting silence. This, he will later claim, is mindset training. In truth, it is madness, a form of socially sanctioned schizophrenia, performed daily in rented flats across the globe. The cold baptism. No influencer's morning is complete without the ice bath. Yes, they must plunge themselves into a bin full of freezing water, often outdoors, often naked, save for a pair of Calvin Klein briefs bought at TK Maxx. They shriek, they gasp, they film themselves, of course. For what is pain if not content? They claim it sharpens the mind, it awakens ancient warrior instincts, it floods the body with primal energy. In reality, it's frostbite in a bucket. But still they do it, because a man shivering in a dustbin of ice looks like discipline, and discipline looks like money. I once watched an influencer live stream his ice bath only for the bottom of the bin to split, flooding his neighbor's patio. The neighbor emerged in a dressing gown and slippers, wielding a mop. The influencer kept filming, shouting, "See? Obstacles are just opportunities, brother." Moments later, he slipped on the icy tiles, concussed himself, and required stitches. His video went viral. Sponsorship offers arrived. He made more money from smashing his skull than he ever had from the ice bath itself. And that, children, is the true alchemy of influencer life. Failure transmutes into profit. The breakfast of gods. Now, let us speak of breakfast. A normal human enjoys toast, cereal, perhaps a fried egg. Not the influencer. His breakfast is a slurry of kale, raw egg, almond butter, Himalayan salt, and something called nootropic powder, which is really just ground up despair in a tub. He drinks this concoction in silence, filming himself for Instagram. The caption always the same: fuel for greatness. His followers swoon, pretending not to vomit at the sight of his green sludge. Occasionally, he swallows the eggs whole, Rocky style. Occasionally, he sprinkles chili flakes into his coffee, declaring it biohacking. Occasionally, he consumes nothing at all, calling it intermittent fasting, which is simply a posh way of saying, "I skipped breakfast because I spent all my money renting a Ferrari." I recall the tragic tale of Anton Grindset Lloyd, who attempted to hack his metabolism by replacing all meals with protein shakes. After 6 weeks, his body revolted, his bowels erupted, and he was discovered in a Costa bathroom, weeping into his phone, whispering, "The hustle never stops." He documented it, of course. His TikTok reached 2.7 million views. Brand deals with a laxative company. Success in its most facile form. The workout of the ancients. By 5 a.m., the influencer is in the gym. Not to train, no, to perform. He does not lift weights to build strength. He lifts weights to build content. Every grunt, every curl, every bead of sweat must be filmed, captioned, hashtagged, and thrust into the digital ether. His workout is absurd. Squats while reading Think and Grow Rich. Push-ups upon kettlebells balanced on Bosu balls. Deadlifts with chains strapped to his nipples. Because pain virality, he claims discipline, he claims focus. In truth, he is a circus act, a sweaty clown juggling dumbbells for the algorithm's amusement, and he always ends with a shirtless mirror selfie. His caption, "We all have the same 24 hours, kings. What are you doing with yours?" His followers nod, ignoring the fact that he spends 23 of those hours editing videos of himself flexing. The work block of delusion. By 6 a.m., he sits at a laptop, not to work, never to work, but to pretend. He types furiously, grimaces, sips coffee, mutters into his webcam, "grind time." In reality, he is Googling how to start dropshipping for the 10th time, or scrolling through his own Instagram stories to see how many hearts they've collected. He will claim he is writing a business plan. He will claim he is scheduling calls with investors. In truth, he is copy-pasting motivational quotes into Canva templates and selling them as ebooks for £12.99 a pop. I once encountered a lad in a cafe who insisted he was building a crypto empire. His laptop screen revealed nothing but a half-written Word document titled myhustleplan.x and an open tab of Pornhub. He looked me dead in the eye and declared, "Bro, it's about discipline. Most people aren't willing to wake up at 4 a.m. to watch porn in Starbucks." And perhaps he was right. Perhaps that is discipline. A disgusting, sticky discipline. The gospel of journaling. Journaling. Every influencer must journal, not to record thoughts or ideas, but to scrawl meaningless platitudes into a 60-pound leather notebook purchased from Etsy. Gratitude, discipline, focus, abundance. They write these words over and over, as if by repetition they might conjure wealth from thin air. Sometimes they draw diagrams, sometimes they scribble affirmations. I am rich, I am powerful, I am not a fraud. The ink smears with their tears. They close the journal, satisfied, and declare to their followers, "Writing down your dreams is the first step to making them real." And then they spend the rest of the day filming TikToks about cryptocurrency scams. The midday crash. Of course, by noon, they are exhausted, waking at 4, screaming at mirrors, plunging into ice, consuming raw kale slime. This takes a toll. By lunchtime, they are wrecked, hollow shells of men. But they must not show weakness. No, they must continue posting, smiling, grinding, pretending that the endless grind is a fountain of joy. Many collapse. I once saw a man pass out mid-live stream, his head bouncing off the keyboard while comments flooded in. "Rise and grind, bro." He later claimed it was a planned power nap, proof of his mastery of energy cycles. In truth, he was simply exhausted, dehydrated, and borderline malnourished from his diet of protein dust and Red Bull. The nightly sacrifice. At day's end, the influencer does not relax. He does not enjoy Netflix or reading or wank in peace. He must continue the routine. More journaling, more affirmations, more mirror screaming. He tells himself he is building an empire. In truth, he is simply pacing in circles in a hamster wheel of his own madness. And when he finally collapses into bed at midnight, having filmed, posted, screamed, frozen, flexed, journaled, and shit himself into oblivion, he sets the alarm once more. 4 a.m., a lion's roar, and the cycle begins again. The parable of Oliver Discipline Crane. Let me conclude with the tale of Oliver Discipline Crane, patron saint of the sacred routine. Oliver documented every waking moment for 3 years. Ice baths at dawn, push-ups at sunrise, gratitude journaling for the hour. He preached, he sold courses, he ranted about morning victories. And then, one day, living on Instagram, Oliver forgot to set his alarm. He woke at 9 a.m. He wept, he screamed, he declared himself ruined. His followers mocked him mercilessly. His sponsorships fled, his empire crumbled. And yet, within months, he was back. New brand, new slogan. He now preaches the 9 a.m. hustle, claiming that true kings wake late because they are too powerful to need alarm clocks. His followers returned, his brand revived. For in this world, failure is but fuel. The cult of routine devours all, spits it out, and sells it as wisdom. Step 1, the 5 a.m. wake-up. The alarm shrieks, not a humble iPhone beep, not an air raid siren of productivity. At 5 a.m. sharp, our influencer rises, stretching like a man trying to escape both his duvet and his crippling fraudulence. Why 5 a.m.? Because waking up early implies superiority. Never mind that they went to bed at 4:30 after doom-scrolling crypto charts. The mathematics of hypocrisy is irrelevant. Statistic, waking up at 5 a.m. equals success. Waking up at 7 a.m. equals poverty. Waking up at 9 a.m. equals communism. Step 2, the gym, mostly selfies. 2 glorious hours. Not of iron pumping, but of mirror humping. Dumbbells untouched, except to reposition them for a thirst trap. Exercises include the bicep flex with Snapchat filter, the squat that never quite happens, the 30-minute mirror stare, intensity level, erotic. Infographic, gym time breakdown, actual lifting, 7%, selfies, 62%, reapplying cologne, 18%, and pretending to stretch near women, 13%. Step 3, the protein shake of destiny. Observe, dear reader, the chalice of froth, the sacred shake. Whey powder mixed with tears of unpaid interns. Consumed on camera naturally, because if you drink protein alone, did it even happen? Barry's booming command. Make eye contact with your followers as you swallow the sludge, as if daring them to question your lactose intolerance. Step 4. Mirror affirmations. A critical stage. Alone in the bathroom, the influencer confronts the only enemy who truly understands him, his reflection, whispering phrases such as, "You are a brand, bro. The grind is eternal." One day, Rogan will call. Occasionally, the reflection whispers back, pleading, "Please, read a book." Step 5. Standing in crowds pretending to belong. Every influencer must conclude their morning by loitering amongst the beautiful. Festivals, clubs, gyms, airports. The technique? Stand near attractive strangers. Pretend you are deep in thought. Smile suddenly, as if recalling a private joke. You have not recalled anything. Your brain is emptier than a Wetherspoons at 10 a.m. The London Tube routine. I once witnessed a man on the Central Line, shirt vacuum sealed to his torso, chain glimmering in the fluorescent hell light. At precisely 5:45 a.m., he pulled out a tripod and began recording himself drinking a protein shake. As the train swayed, he whispered, "Discipline, sacrifice, success." Moments later, the carriage jolted and the shake exploded across a woman's Marks & Spencer bag. He did not stop recording. He looked straight into the camera and declared, "No excuses, bro, only results." She called him a prick. He uploaded it anyway. 1.2 million views. Closing commandment. So my polyester disciples, remember this. The sacred routine is not about discipline. It is not about health. It is not about success. It is about performance. It is about looking insane, feeling insane, being insane, and then charging other people £99 to copy your insanity. You will scream at mirrors. You will plunge into freezing bins. You will drink smoothies that taste like Satan's piss. You will flex in gyms, journal nonsense, pretend to work, collapse from exhaustion, and call it greatness. And the world will scroll by, shaking its collective head, muttering, "Christ, look at this lunatic." And yet they will like, they will follow, they will buy, because deep down, everyone wants to believe that waking at 4 a.m. to shriek affirmations into a mirror is the secret to happiness. And if you sell it loudly enough, with enough veins bulging in your forehead, they just might believe you. Chapter 4, Fake Laughing at Nothing, Advanced Techniques. The laugh. Where the lungs of men are emptied of sincerity, and all that remains is the haunting cackle of the algorithm, the most unnatural of all influencer weapons, the fraudulent chuckle, the hollow guffaw, the staged mirth that echoes across Instagram reels like the ghost of comedy murdered in its sleep. Every influencer must learn it, my child. Without it, they are doomed merely men in shirts too tight, chains too limp, cars too obviously rented. For the laugh, The fake laugh is the glue that binds their farce together. It convinces the audience that something, anything, is funny, even when the only thing funny is the sheer emptiness of their existence. This laugh is not joy. No, it is a strategy. It is manipulation. It is as calculated as a sniper's bullet aimed squarely at the brain stems of the gullible. And once you hear it, truly hear it, you will never again know peace. The anatomy of a false cackle. First, let us dissect this creature. The influencer's laugh begins with silence, an awkward, suffocating silence after their joke falls flatter than a pancake beneath a lorry. The silence expands. Viewers shift in their seats, wondering if they should swipe away, and then, ha! The laugh bursts forth, not from the belly, oh no, not from the heart or the diaphragm or any honest place within the body. It erupts from the throat like a dying crow. It is always slightly too loud, slightly too forced, slightly too late. A manufactured explosion of sound, designed not to amuse, but to instruct. This is where you laugh, peasants. This is the funny bit. Obey me. You will hear varieties. The nasal snicker, the bark, the squeal, the silent shake of shoulders accompanied by a caption, ha 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 ha, because apparently even sound is too authentic for these bastards. But beneath them all lies the same truth. They are not laughing with you. They are laughing at you and charging you for the privilege, the social media giggle. Have you ever seen an influencer film themselves while reacting to a funny meme? They sit there, ring light glaring upon their pale, Botoxed faces, scrolling through TikTok, forcing out a laugh every 3 seconds. Nothing is funny, nothing has been funny since 2008, but still, the laugh comes. Ha 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 ha. Oh, bro, that's hilarious. Oh, man, wow. No sincerity, just the monotone chuckle of a man dead inside. The algorithm demands laughter, and so he provides it, like a circus seal slapping its fins for sardines. I once encountered a young influencer called Jamie Banterlord Flint, who live-streamed himself watching Vine compilations. For 3 straight hours, he guffawed at cats, at pranks, a man slipping on ice. His laugh never varied from the same hollow bark, repeated endlessly. By the end, his throat was raw, his eyes bloodshot, his spirit broken. He looked like a prisoner tortured with tickling, but his followers, they cheered. This guy's so positive, they wrote. His laugh is infectious. Weeks later, he was hospitalized for vocal cord damage. He posted about it from his bed, smiling weakly, tubes down his throat. Caption: grind never stops. His likes, record-breaking. The podcast problem. But the greatest concentration of fake laughter lies not on Instagram or TikTok, but in the unholy realm of podcasts. Yes, 2 men with microphones, both dressed like rejected baristas, sitting across from one another in a rented studio, spouting nonsense about the grind every 5 seconds. Ha ha ha. Yeah, bro, that's facts. Ha ha. Oh my God, bro. The laugh comes not from humor, but from fear. Fear of silence. Fear that if the listener hears nothing for more than 2 seconds, they will flee. And so the men cackle, wheeze, and bark at one another's mediocrity until their podcast resembles nothing more than an asylum choir. I once listened to an episode where 2 influencers spent 37 minutes discussing bottled water. They debated brands. They debated plastic versus glass. They debated the philosophical meaning of hydration. Not once did either man say anything of substance, but both laughed continuously, like hyenas sucking helium. And the audience, they loved it. They flooded the comments with, "These guys are hilarious." Hilarious? They were reading the nutritional information off a bottle of Evian. Yet such is the power of the fake laugh. It convinces the brain that humor has occurred, when in reality, all that has occurred is the slow death of culture. The seduction of the cackle. The laugh is also a weapon of seduction. Yes, watch as the influencer approaches a group of women in a nightclub. He tells a joke. It is not a joke, but a string of words assembled like Lego bricks by a toddler. Silence threatens. His trousers are too tight, his chain to limp. And then he laughs at himself, loudly, confidently. Ha ha ha! Classic me! Ha ha ha! The women, confused, glance at one another. Something primal in their brains whispers, perhaps he is funny. Perhaps we are simply too stupid to understand the joke. And so, reluctantly, they laugh as well. And in this moment, he has won. Not because he is funny, but because he has forced laughter into existence through sheer aggression. This is the dark magic of the influencer laugh. It is not a response, it is an imposition. It colonists the air, demanding compliance. It is the laugh of dictators, of clowns with knives, of salesmen flogging expired protein powder. The death of comedy. Real comedians weep at this. Imagine devoting your life to timing, to wit, to craft, only to be outdone by a man in an H&M shirt who shouts, "Ha ha, bro," at his own reflection and earns millions of views. The fake laugh has destroyed comedy as surely as Instagram filters have destroyed photography. Why labor over a punchline when you can simply film yourself chuckling at a knock-knock joke written by a toddler? Why risk wit when you can simply point at a captioned meme, wheeze into your camera, and call it content? Comedy is dead, strangled by polyester sleeves and buried beneath hashtags. The tragedy of Marcus Lowell's Dean. Allow me then to regale you with a cautionary tale. Marcus Lowell's Dean. A man whose entire career was built upon his laugh. He had nothing else, no wit, no insight, no abs, no car, not even a chain. Only his laugh, a piercing, high-pitched screech like a kettle boiling in hell. And for a time, he thrived. He filmed himself laughing at everything. News reports, cat videos, and his own grandmother falling down the stairs. Millions followed him. Brands paid him. He was crowned the king of laughter. But then came the day his laugh abandoned him. His voice cracked, his screech reduced to a wheeze. He attempted to record, but nothing came. Silence. His empire crumbled overnight. His followers fled. His sponsorships evaporated. In desperation, he hired voice coaches, throat doctors, even a shaman. Nothing worked. He attempted to fake his own fake laugh, but the audience detected the fraud within the fraud. They abandoned him, muttering, "He's not the same." Now he wanders TikTok, commenting on other people's videos, begging for scraps of relevance. Occasionally, he posts a clip of himself attempting to laugh. It is pitiful. The sound of a dying balloon, and the comments cruel. "Bring back the old laugh, bro." Thus ends the tale of Marcus Dean, devoured by the very beast he created. Advanced techniques. But let us not forget the influencer laugh has levels. Techniques, styles, like karate or tantric sex. Allow me to guide you through the advanced practices of this cursed art. The echo laugh. Repeat your laugh 3 times, each louder than the last, until the audience is battered into submission. The partner laugh. Synchronize your fake laugh with another influencer's fake laugh, creating a duet of insincerity that drowns all dissent. The silent laugh. Shake violently, mouth open, no sound emerging. Caption the video with "ha ha 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 ha" to instruct the audience on what they must feel. The laugh attack. Laugh continuously for 30 seconds, regardless of context. Someone dropped a fork? Ha 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 ha. Someone mentions taxes? Ha 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 ha. Someone dies? Ha 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 ha. Master these and you too can ascend. Your lungs will burn, your dignity will wither, but the algorithm will reward you. The midnight echo. And so, dear reader, imagine this. It is midnight. You scroll through reels, thumb numb, eyes glazed. Video after video, the same sound. Ha ha, bro! Ha ha, ha ha. It echoes through your skull. It follows you into dreams. You awake at 4 a.m. to the sound of laughter that isn't real, ringing in your ears like tinnitus. You realize at last that comedy is no longer a craft. It is a commodity. Laughter is no longer joy. It is a currency, traded by clowns in polyester shirts, and you whisper into the darkness, "Christ, look at these pricks." The ritual of the empty chuckle. Picture it. A fan approaches. They ask, "Excuse me, do you know the time?" Your move. Tilt your head back, grin with the fervor of a man who's just remembered sex exists, and bellow, "Ha! Bro, that's sick!" Sick? Number, but you've already convinced your followers you're hilarious. The 3 holy forms of influencer laughter. The seal clap plus. A thunderous guffaw, paired with a hand clap so violent it resembles a circus seal begging for fish. Often used in gyms when a mate mispronounces creatine. The hyena shriek plus. A high-pitched squeal blasted into the void at the nightclub's bottle service tables. Warning, prolonged exposure may cause sterility. The stoic smirk, advanced plus. The influencer stares directly into the lens. Mouth twitches. A single chuckle escapes like a kettle learning to orgasm. This is not humor. This is branding. The gym chuckle. I once observed an influencer in a New York gym. He stood by the squat rack, a tripod glaring at him like a judgmental owl. A stranger approached. "Are you using this bench, mate?" Without hesitation, the influencer tilted his head back and erupted, "Ha! Bro, that's sick." The stranger blinked, confused. The influencer clapped his hands together like a walrus on Viagra. Moments later, he uploaded the clip with the caption, "Always laughing. Always grinding. Vibes only." He had not lifted a single weight. Closing commandment. So hear me now, disciples of this foul faith. The fake laugh is your greatest weapon. It will not amuse, it will not heal, it will not enrich the soul, but it will trick the masses into thinking you are entertaining. And in this carnival of mediocrity, that is all that matters. Laugh at nothing, laugh at everything, laugh until your throat bleeds, your lungs collapse, your neighbors flee in terror, for the algorithm hears only the sound of laughter, not the meaning behind it. And the world, poor doomed world, will follow. Thus concludes this chapter. Go forth, my polyester apostles, and unleash upon the earth the hollow cackles of insincerity. Drown out silence, destroy sincerity, replace all joy with noise, and let the world scroll on, muttering as one, Christ, they're all laughing at nothing. Chapter 5. The Humble Flex. The flex, where kings boast of their greatness while pretending they've stumbled upon it by accident. The influencer's favorite weapon in the arsenal of deceit. More subtle than the rented Lamborghini, more slippery than the fabricated morning routine. The humble flex is the art of pretending not to boast, while, in fact, boasting so hard that one's trousers split from the sheer gravitational pull of self-regard. It is the sly grin, the "Oh, this old Rolex." It is the caption that whispers, "I never thought I'd come this far," posted beneath a photograph of a man sprawled across silk sheets in Dubai. It is the influencer's paradox to celebrate their success while insisting they are just like you, mate. Just a normal bloke. Only difference is I've got abs, crypto, and a following of 200,000 teenage lads who think dropshipping is the cure to poverty. Make no mistake, the humble flex is not humility. It is not even subtle. It is arrogance disguised in rags, a wolf draped in Primark, a peacock hiding behind a shower curtain and shouting, "Don't look at me," but actually do. The anatomy of the humble flex. Let us dissect it, my dear disciples. The caption trap. Never thought I'd be here. From nothing to something. Just a kid with a dream. These words, plastered across Instagram, imply rags to riches. But what rags exactly? The rags in question are often a six-figure trust fund, a gap year in Bali, and a father who once owned 3 car dealerships. The disclaimers. Not bragging, just grateful. This isn't about me, it's about what's possible for you. I don't even care about money, I care about freedom. Ah, yes, freedom, the sacred word. Freedom to never work a day, freedom to photograph yourself topless in Airbnbs, freedom to scam 17-year-olds into buying your course on financial abundance. Together, these elements form the humble flex, the influencer's equivalent of farting in a crowded lift, then loudly declaring, "Ha ha, wow, who did that? Must be someone successful." The transformation of rags. Influencers love a rags to riches story, but their rags are never rags. Their rags are a comfortable middle-class home with 2 bathrooms, a labradoodle, and annual ski trips to Verbier. They speak of struggle while sipping coconut water flown in from the Maldives. Take, for example, Callum Grind Everly. He posted a video declaring, "I used to be broke, man. Couldn't even afford food. Look at me now." But what did broke mean? It meant his father's business only gave him a modest allowance of £700 a month while he attended university. He once had to share a taxi instead of hiring his own Uber XL. Tragic, heroic, inspiring. He now poses beside a rented Ferrari, captioning, "Never forget where you came from." Where did he come from? A 6-bedroom house in Surrey with underfloor heating. Ah yes, the trenches, the accidental display. The humble flex often takes the form of the accidental display. The influencer films a video on mindset hacks while coincidentally placing a Louis Vuitton wallet in shot. He posts about staying humble while leaning against the balcony of a skyscraper penthouse. He films a podcast while a Rolex gleams on his wrist, catching every light like a lighthouse of Twittery. This is not an accident. This is choreography. Every object in the frame is chosen, every angle calculated. It is theater disguised as authenticity. I once saw a video titled "How to Save Money in Your 20s," filmed by a man sitting in a Lamborghini, sipping champagne. His first tip: don't waste money on things that don't matter. His second tip: invest in yourself. His third tip: buy my course. The comments were filled with awe. So humble, bro. So humble. Christ, if humility were leather, these men would still find a way to embroider their initials on it. The weaponization of struggle. Perhaps the most grotesque form of the humble flex is the weaponization of struggle. Influencers love to exaggerate their pain or invent it entirely. They will weep into their ring lights about the time they hit rock bottom, which usually means they had to downgrade their protein powder brand for 2 months. I recall the saga of Damian Vision Clark. He uploaded a video, eyes misty, voice trembling. I remember when I had nothing, man, just a dream and this mattress on the floor. Touching, heartbreaking, until you discover the mattress in question lies in his parents' £1.2 million townhouse, complete with an ensuite bathroom and Wi-Fi faster than God's wrath. His struggle was that he had to assemble his own IKEA furniture once, yet his followers wept, commenting, "So inspirational, bro. Gives me hope." This is the genius of the humble flex. The audience does not want the truth. They want performance. They want pain, but not real pain. They want a sob story so sanitized it could be sold at John Lewis. The parable of Trent Stacks Mallory. Let me regale you with the tale of Trent Stacks Mallory, saint of the humble flex. Trent rose to prominence with his story. Once a dishwasher at Pizza Express, now a millionaire entrepreneur. Every post he made featured the same formula. A photo of Trent with arms crossed, chain dangling. Caption: from dishes to riches. The world ate it up. He was interviewed, praised, worshipped. But what was the truth? Trent had indeed washed dishes, once for 4 hours, on a Saturday, when his father, the restaurant's owner, insisted he learn the value of work. Trent quit after lunch and never returned. The riches, a trust fund, investments made by mummy, the entrepreneurship, a clothing brand that sold t-shirts printed with the words, "Grind, don't stop." Yet his audience adored him. Why? Because he never simply bragged. He humbly reminded everyone of his dishwasher past, as though those 4 hours were his crucifixion and his Lamborghini his resurrection. His downfall came when an actual dishwasher, a woman named Sheila, who had scrubbed plates at Pizza Express for 27 years, exposed him. She filmed a TikTok holding up a sponge declaring, "This is what a real dishwasher looks like, son." It went viral. Trent was humiliated. His brand collapsed. And yet, months later, he returned, rebranded. New caption: fallen but never broken. Stacks 2.0. His followers returned. For in the end, the humble flex is indestructible. The pseudo-philosopher, another grotesque form of the humble flex, is the influencer turned philosopher. He will post a video in a villa, shirt open, cigar in hand, whispering, "It's not about the money, it's about the man you become along the way." As he says this, his Rolex gleams, the villa looms, the cigar smokes. It is about the money. It has always been about the money. But he insists otherwise, because true arrogance requires denial. These men quote Nietzsche while mispronouncing his name. They claim to have read Marcus Aurelius, though the only meditations they've touched are Instagram captions they copied from Pinterest. They insist they are wise, enlightened, humble, while flashing their pecs and asking you to smash that follow button. The flex of philanthropy. And finally, the most nauseating humble flex of all, the influencer philanthropist. Watch as he films himself handing a sandwich to a homeless man. Watch as he films himself tipping a waitress £50. Watch as he films himself hugging orphans, always with the caption, "It's not about me. It's about giving back." If it were truly not about him, the camera would not be there. The captions would not be there. The hashtags $, gratitude $, blessed $, generosity would not be there. It would be quiet, private, human. But no. For the influencer, even kindness is currency. Even charity is theater. Even generosity must be monetized. The essential flex phrases. Sprinkle these verbal turds into every video, caption, or podcast. I used to eat ramen every night. Yes, and now you eat steak, but only because your mum pays for it. No one believed in me, except your 20,000 bot followers and your uncle's loan. The grind never stops. Unless it's leg day, then the grind definitely stops. Pie chart, influencer struggle breakdown. 15% equals slept in my car, Tesla heated seats. 25% equals didn't know if I'd make rent until dad wired money. 40% equals worked 3 jobs. Bartender, personal trainer, OnlyFans, foot pics. 20% equals everyone doubted me. Actually, no one cared. The influencer at Greg's. I once overheard a man in Greg's, shirt strangling his torso. The chain is vibrating with fraudulent energy. He declared loudly into his iPhone, "Mate, 2 years ago I couldn't even afford a sausage roll. Now look at me." He then bought 2 sausage rolls with a loyalty card. Ladies and gentlemen, the humble flex. Graph, flex level versus believability. Broke and homeless. Believability, 12%. Worked 3 jobs. Believability, 40%. Dad cut me off once. Believability, 99%. Raised by wolves. Believability, minus 400%. Advanced flexing techniques. Photos with old cars. Borrow your cousin's Ford Fiesta. Squat next to it. Caption, never forget where you came from. The fake bank statement. Post a screenshot of your balance from 2015. £2.17. Never mention that it was your secondary account, the one you used for kebabs. The emotional teardrop. Film yourself getting misty-eyed. I remember the nights with nothing but 2-minute noodles and a dream. Ignore the Deliveroo receipts in the background. The visual flex. Merely telling your story is not enough. You must show it, preferably in black and white footage of yourself sitting on a curb, head in hands, chain still glinting under the streetlight. Overlay text. Started from nothing. Now I inspire millions. Translation, you dropped out of community college and learned Canva. Closing commandment. So my polyester disciples, remember this. The humble flex is not humility. It is not modesty. It is fraud wrapped in gratitude. Arrogance dressed in second-hand rags. It is the art of saying, I am better than you, while pretending to say, you can be like me. You will claim struggle. You will invent poverty. You will pose with Rolexes and insist they mean nothing. You will hand sandwiches to the homeless with one hand while filming with the other. You will lie, and you will smile, and you will caption it all with "so humbled." And the world will scroll on, muttering as one, Christ, what a prick. But maybe he's right. Thus ends the chapter. Go forth, flex humbly, brag subtly, and remember, the truest humble flex is to deny you are flexing at all. Chapter 6, Monetizing Your Lack of Talent, a masterclass in grifting. A useless bastard is transformed into a prophet of profit. Ah, yes! Gather close, you hopeless dregs, you witless sacks of meat and Wi-Fi, for it is I, your velvet-throated instructor, your bombastic messiah of mediocrity, here to deliver the greatest secret of influencer life. You do not need talent. You need not sing, nor paint, nor juggle flaming swords. You need not even speak coherently. Nay, you need only grift, and I shall teach you. This, my disciples, is your masterclass in monetizing nothing. The opening sermon, Death of Talent. There was a time long, long ago when men earned fame through skill. A singer sang, a dancer danced, a comedian made you laugh. Tragic, outdated, what an embarrassment. Talent requires practice, discipline, and effort. Effort, for Christ's sake. Who has time for that? When you could simply squat in front of a ring light and shout, "Rise and grind, kings," until the algorithm spews coins into your gullet. Talent is dead, strangled by hashtags, and you greater than you must piss upon its grave. Lesson 1, the noise strategy. First, you must understand the world is loud. Too loud, and to be heard, you must be louder still. Not clever, not insightful, just loud as fuck. Do not waste your time sculpting a joke. Instead, belch a half-formed thought into your microphone. Shout it in the car, shout it at the gym, shout it on the toilet, film it all. You are not a thinker. You are a siren wailing until the public's ears bleed. Take young Darren Echo Mills. His talent? None. His secret? Volume. He simply shouted every motivational phrase he could find on Pinterest. You're a king. Money is energy. Your ex will cry when she sees your abs. No nuance, no wisdom, just noise. And the people adored him. They said, "My God, he's so passionate." Passionate. He was screaming into a blender. Yet within months, he had 600,000 followers, 3 sponsorships with energy drink brands, and a TEDx talk titled The Hustle Frequency. Thus, Lesson 1, be louder than sense. Lesson 2, the copy-paste gospel. Why invent when you can copy? Why bleed for originality when you can vomit cliches already tested by others? Discipline equals freedom. You have the same 24 hours as Beyoncé. Success leaves clues. Copy, paste, repeat, post, caption, sell. Consider Melissa, quote Queen Parnell. Her entire account consisted of Canvas slides stolen from Pinterest. Not one original word passed her lips, yet she sold journaling courses for £199, teaching others how to unlock abundance by copying quotes. She had no insight, no skill, no ideas, but she had followers, and the followers paid. Thus, Lesson 2. Why write when you can regurgitate? Lesson 3. The prop economy. If you lack talent, you must distract with props, Rolexes, Lamborghinis, designer shoes, anything shiny enough to blind the viewer to your emptiness. Take Leon Stack's Hanratty. He could not string a sentence together. His vocabulary consisted of bro, stack, and legacy. But he had one prop, a rented yacht. He filmed every video on its deck, shirt open, shouting into the wind. Did he sail it? Number. Did he even know which end was the front number? But the image was enough. He sold freedom courses at £499 a head, promising yacht life to the desperate. And his students? They paid. They paid because the prop convinced them. Thus, Lesson 3. If you cannot be, then appear. Lesson 4. The manufactured enemy. Every grifter requires drama. If you lack talent, invent a nemesis. Shout at the haters. Claim they don't want you to win. Who are they? Doesn't matter. The algorithm loves war. Observe Clive Victory Morales. He posted endless rants about his doubters. Did he have doubters? Nobody had heard of him. Yet he screamed, eyes bulging, "They said I couldn't. They said I wouldn't. Look at me now." At what? At nothing. He had nothing. But his followers believed him. They thought, wow, he overcame so much. In truth, he overcame nothing but his own reflection. Thus, Lesson 4, fabricate the foe, then vanquish him nightly on TikTok. Lesson 5, the pyramid of courses. Now we arrive at the true cathedral of grifting, courses. You will sell knowledge you do not have, wisdom you did not earn, skills you cannot perform, dropshipping courses, crypto courses, mindset courses, how to be an influencer courses, all nonsense. But nonsense wrapped in confidence becomes gospel. Look to Ethan Mentor Steele. He sold a financial freedom blueprint course for £999. What was in it? A 10-page PDF copied from Investopedia. Yet his students, poor sods, hailed him as a genius. They filmed testimonials. Ethan changed my life. Changed it how? By draining their accounts. When confronted, Ethan declared, information wants to be free, but my time doesn't. Genius. Evil, yes, but genius. Thus, Lesson 5, when you cannot do, teach badly, expensively, and repeatedly. Lesson 6, the collapse as content. But here's the beauty when your scam collapses, when your lies are exposed, when your audience calls you a fraud. Cry into the camera, shout about betrayal, declare, I was cancelled, and rise again. For nothing fuels the influencer more than failure. Failure is content. Failure is a new course. How I survived cancellation £199. Take Sasha Phoenix Bell. Her grift was biohacked water. She sold ordinary tap water in glass bottles for £20, claiming it vibrated at prosperity frequency. Exposed by scientists, she was mocked, ridiculed, and hounded. Did she perish? No, she rebranded. Now she sells courses, how to handle the haters, and her followers adore her more than ever. For in influencer land, crucifixion is resurrection. Thus, Lesson 6, fall publicly, rise profitably. Lesson 7, the grift eternal. Finally, the grand revelation, the grift never ends. It is Ouroboros, serpent devouring its own tail. You sell courses on making courses. You scam people into scamming others. You build pyramids of mediocrity, each layer climbing upon the backs of the gullible below. Talent dies, integrity dies, but the grift endures. Step 1, sell a course on nothing. The gold standard of influencer grifts. Craft a digital product so devoid of content that it makes a blank Word document look like the Magna Carta. Course title ideas. From broke to bro in 30 days. How I made 100K followers overnight, bots included. The secret mindset hack, it's just caffeine. Course content includes a 10-minute video of you saying, just be consistent, bro. A PDF titled Mindset Shifts, a collection of your Instagram captions. Access to a private Discord where you drop in once a month to shout, who's grinding, before disappearing. Chart, price versus value of influencer courses. £49 equals zero value. £199 equals zero value. £499 equals zero value. £1,999 equals minus 12 value. Actively ruins your life. Step 2, dropshipping, because scamming equals entrepreneurship. Why invent something when AliExpress already sells it for 37 pence? Simply slap your logo on a cheap gadget and call it exclusive lifestyle branding. Product ideas: hustle hard, gloves, fall apart after one use, alpha mindset, candles, smell like regret, and Lynx Africa. Energy drink collab, Monster Energy, but with your face on the can. Marketing strategy. Post-fake testimonials. This changed my life. Your cousin. You claim it's selling out fast. It isn't. When refunds are requested, reply, it's about the hustle, not the product. Step 3, the fake charity scam, for good vibes only. Nothing screams saint like exploiting a cause for clout. How to execute. Find a trending hashtag. Like save the turtles. End loneliness. White justice for hamsters. Pledge to donate 10% of profits. Profits equals revenue minus business expenses, aka your new chain. Post a tearful video. It's not about me, bro. It's about giving back. Then keep 90%. The Candle King. I once encountered an influencer selling candles online. Branded as Alpha Flame Ignite Your Hustle. He claimed they were made of rare Himalayan wax infused with monk chants. In reality, they were cheap tea lights from Poundland dipped in Lynx body spray. He sold out in 2 weeks. Testimonial section. Before I bought this course, I was broke. Now I'm broke, but with PDFs. Definitely not his mum. These candles changed my life. They set my curtains on fire. Local fire brigade. The gloves ripped instantly. I respect the hustle, though. Chad, age 19. Closing commandment. So now you know, my polyester apostles. You need not dance, nor sing, nor act. You need not create, nor inspire, nor elevate. You need only grift. Be loud, copy endlessly, pose with props, invent enemies, sell worthless courses, collapse, rise, collapse again, and through it all scream, this isn't about me, it's about you. The world will scroll on, muttering as one, Christ, what a prick, but he seems rich. And you, talentless and triumphant, will laugh not sincerely, not humbly, but richly. For you have mastered the final art, monetizing absolutely nothing. Amen. Chapter 7, The Art of the Fake Deep Quote, Word Salad for Clout. My polyester disciples, the 7th pillar of influencer enlightenment, the apotheosis of bollocks dressed as wisdom, the crowning jewel of the idiot king's crown, the fake deep quote, word salad for clout, gibberish presented with the solemnity of scripture. Nothing has propelled the talentless further than their ability to look into the camera, squint meaningfully, and vomit phrases so hollow they echo when spoken aloud, yet somehow trick the desperate, the lonely, and the perpetually online into whispering, Christ, that's profound. And so, the influencer takes his place not as an entertainer, not as an entrepreneur, not as a human, but as a prophet of nothingness, reciting cosmic gibberish that could have been written by a malfunctioning fridge magnet. The fake deep quote is not meant to be understood. No, it is meant to be felt. It is meant to bypass logic entirely, slipping past reason, logic, and common sense, and slam directly into the soft meat of the heart, like a velvet mallet. You've seen it. You've scrolled past it. A man, shirtless, leaning against a hired Lamborghini, squinting into the horizon with the caption, "A lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep." Yes, quite right, my boy. But also, the lion doesn't run an Amazon dropshipping scam while living with his mum in Croydon. The sheep at least pay their rent. Yet there it sits, smug as a Buddha carved from spray tan, collecting likes by the thousand. And oh, how they multiply these aphorisms, like weeds, like mold, like genital warts of the intellect. Each one is a meaningless assembly of animals, elements, and ambition. The moon doesn't apologize for the tides, so why should you apologize for your success? The wolf on the hill is not as hungry as the sheep in the valley, but at least he has Wi-Fi. If you want to fly, first you must kill the version of yourself that believed in gravity. These are not quotes, they are linguistic diarrhea, yet they spread because the influencer delivers them not with a wink, not with a laugh, but with the solemn tone of Moses descending the mountain with stone tablets. The conviction sells the lie. They sound as if they've discovered truth itself, when in reality, they've misremembered a line from Batman Begins and mixed it with a yoga instructor's Facebook post. And the structure is always the same. Begin with an animal: lion, wolf, eagle, shark. Next, an abstract noun: hunger, ambition, destiny, freedom. Finally, a vague conclusion: therefore, grind harder, invest in yourself, never quit. Wrap it in a black and white photo, preferably of the influencer topless in a gym mirror. And there you have it, word salad for clout. The audience, dazed and tired, nods along. Yes, yes, I too am a lion, I too am destined. And thus they follow, they like, they buy the course. Consider the grotesque saga of Brendan Sage Moreland, the self-declared prophet of hustle. He posted a video from the deck of a yacht he did not own, hair slicked, shirt open, voice heavy with self-importance. The ocean is not afraid of the drop of water, he declared, because it knows the drop is the ocean, and the ocean is the drop. Be the ocean. Inspiring? Perhaps. Sensical? Absolutely not. His followers applauded, declaring they too would be the ocean. One man commented, "Just quit my job, ready to be the wave." Days later, he was homeless, yet Brendan thrived, selling ocean mindset seminars for £399 a ticket, where he would repeat the same nonsense while gesturing at a PowerPoint slide of waves. But Brendan was not alone. No, the world is infested with these false prophets. Take Clarissa Depth-Vane, who built an empire on captions such as, "The stars do not apologize for shining, neither should you." She plastered them on photos of herself in Bali, sipping cocktails paid for by her followers. She was worshipped, adored, and retweeted by the lost and the gullible, until one day she was filmed in a club shrieking at a bartender, "Do you know who I am? I am the stars. I don't apologize for shining." The video went viral. Her followers abandoned her. Yet within weeks, she returned, posting, "A diamond is just coal that survived pressure. I am that diamond." And lo, they followed her once again, brains scrubbed of memory, ready to be inspired anew. For that is the secret, my disciples. The fake, deep quote cannot die. It regenerates, like a cockroach, like herpes. Even when mocked, it persists, because there is always some lonely soul desperate for meaning, scrolling at 3 a.m, ready to believe that success is the Wi-Fi password of life, and you must connect before the signal fades. It doesn't matter that it makes no sense. It matters that it feels like sense. The influencers deliver these lines as if each one were an epiphany. They gaze into the lens. They lower their voice. They pause dramatically before the final word. Remember, the wolf. What wolf? Where? Doesn't matter. The wolf is you. The wolf is everyone. The wolf is a marketing strategy. And you nod, and you share, and you type facts, bro, in the comments, because silence is worse than submission. They have replaced philosophy with memes. Seneca reduced to a carousel post. Marcus Aurelius mutilated into stay hard kings. Nietzsche distorted into that which does not kill you makes you buy my course. We are living in the age of Instastotle, the philosopher of the algorithm, a chorus of polyester prophets roaring nonsense into the void and receiving applause in return. I recall once attending a so-called success summit hosted by 3 of these word salad merchants. For 2 hours, they shouted gibberish over a soundtrack of pounding EDM. One screamed, "Your haters are just confused fans." Another bellowed, "The eagle does not ask permission to fly, it simply spreads its wings." The third howled, "Money is only energy, so vibrate harder." The audience leapt to their feet, cheering, tears streaming. They paid £500 each for the privilege. They were fed no strategy, no plan, no substance, only quotes, empty as air, hollow as a drum. Yet they left believing they had been transformed. Such is the power of bollocks delivered confidently. And here, mid-sermon, allow me to demonstrate, to baptize you in the filth. Listen, my child, as I thunder what could be an Instagram caption tomorrow. The mountain does not move for the climber moves up the mountain. But in truth, the mountain was always inside the climber, and the climber was always the mountain. Therefore, climb yourself. Ah, yes, utter nonsense, yet delivered with force, it becomes wisdom. You feel inspired, even as your brain bleeds from the ears. That is the dark art of the fake deep quote. Or let me deliver another, plucked from the ether of idiocy. Time is not money. Time is the fire that forges the sword of destiny, and money is merely the sheath. Do not be the sheath, be the fire. Yes, bollocks, but imagine it written over a black and white photo of a man squatting shirtless in front of a Ferrari. You would like it. You would share it. You might even tattoo it on your thigh. And this, my disciples, is why language itself has died. Words are no longer tools of clarity, but ornaments of performance. Meaningless phrases masquerading as scripture, amplified by ring lights and hashtags, and the audience laps it up, starving for wisdom in a desert of mediocrity. Consider the downfall of Julian Oracle Pike, once the greatest word salad merchant of them all. He declared himself the modern Marcus Aurelius, posting videos such as, "The desert does not beg for water, the desert becomes the thirst." Millions followed. He sold journals embossed with lions. He spoke at summits, bellowing quotes he invented seconds before. But then, catastrophe. In a podcast, he was asked a simple question. What does that mean? He froze. He stammered. He confessed at last. It doesn't mean anything. I just make them up. His empire crumbled overnight. His followers abandoned him. Betrayed. He vanished. Months later, he returned with a new account, new name, new quotes. The phoenix does not regret the ashes. It simply burns again. And lo, his followers returned, because memory is short and word salad eternal. Step 1. Combine random motivational words. The trick is to simply jam unrelated words together until they sound vaguely spiritual. Hustle in silence. Let success be your noise. Translation: your neighbors already hate you. The universe rewards action. The universe also rewards comets smashing into dinosaurs, but never mind. Pain is temporary, grind is forever. Please, stop grinding. The floorboards can't take it. Step 2. Steal and slightly mangle existing quotes. Influencers are not creators, they are butchers. They take famous quotes, sprinkle hustle on top, and claim it as their own. Original. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Gandhi. Influencer version. Be the hustle you manifest in your grind. Gary from Essex. Original. Do not go gentle into that good night. Dylan Thomas. Influencer version. Do not go gentle into that good grind, bro. Darren, self-employed. Step 3. Pair with irrelevant imagery. A deep quote is nothing without a stock photo, sunset. The less related, the better. A lion roaring at dawn. Fear is weakness, leaving the body. A man kayaking alone, only dead fish go with the flow. A close-up of a steak, energy cannot be destroyed, only hustled. Infographic, the fake deep quote generator trademark. Step 1, pick a subject. Universe, grind, energy, legacy. Step 2, add a verb, rewards, builds, fuels, transcends. Step 3, insert nonsense, silence, vibes, manifestation, haters. Step 4, add emoji. Fire, 100, lion, rocket. Graph, depth of quote versus actual intelligence. Real philosophy equals depth, 90. Intelligence, 95. Fake deep, quote equals depth, 10. Intelligence, 2.0. Grind set manifest vibes, depth, minus 30. Intelligence, 0.0. The Ibiza balcony. I once overheard a man on an Ibiza balcony. Shirtless, drunk on discount Prosecco, he stared at the sunrise and muttered into his phone, The ocean doesn't apologize for its waves, just like I don't apologize for my hustle. Moments later, he vomited into the pool. He still posted the video. 3.8 million views. Closing commandment. To be a true influencer philosopher, you must say absolutely nothing with such ferocious confidence that people assume it's profound. Remember, it's not about meaning. It's about vibes. The sunset doesn't apologize for its rays. Neither should you apologize for being a fraudulent oracle with Wi-Fi. Chapter 8. The Performer's Guide to Fake Tears. Sympathy equals engagement. My soggy disciples of the algorithm, we have arrived at the most revolting yet strangely lucrative of influencer techniques. The fake tear, the digital weeping, the public meltdown performed not for catharsis, not for truth, not for anything resembling humanity, but for clout, for likes, for sympathy to be transmuted into engagement and engagement into money. This is not sadness, no, this is marketing disguised as misery. This is the theater of dampness. Behold the influencer, face wet with crocodile grief, ring light gleaming in each tear, voice cracking in exactly the right cadence, whispering, I didn't want to share this, but you deserve to know my struggle. The struggle, of course, is never hunger, never rent, never the crushing weight of actual life. The struggle is waiting 3 weeks for a Rolex to ship. The struggle is losing a brand deal with a protein powder company because you accidentally called their product chalk. The struggle is trolls commenting that your Lamborghini is rented, yet they cry. They cry as though humanity itself hangs in the balance, and the comments flood in. Stay strong, King! We're with you, Queen! So brave! Brave? My ass. Brave is fighting wars, saving lives, and raising children alone. This is a grown man sobbing because he lost Wi-Fi in Dubai. The influencer's fake cry has a rhythm, a technique, a choreography. Step 1. Announce that you didn't want to do this. I promised myself I wouldn't cry on camera. Step 2. Breathe heavily, a few sharp gasps like a broken accordion. Step 3. Let the tear fall. Not too early, not too late. Right on the beat drop of your tragic confession. Step 4. Assure the audience you're only doing this for them. I'm only opening up because I love you guys. Lies. All lies. You're opening up because tears mean clicks and clicks mean sponsors. I once witnessed the tragic pageantry of Oliver Soul Trenton, a mid-tier influencer who filmed a weepy video after being banned from a nightclub for urinating in the potted plants. He stared into his iPhone, eyes red, whispering, "They don't understand me. The system is broken. I just wanted to vibe." He sobbed. He wailed. His followers exploded with sympathy. Stay strong, bro. This is growth. You're an inspiration. An inspiration? He pissed in a ficus. Yet from that video alone, Oliver gained 50,000 followers, 2 brand deals, and a speaking slot at something called the Emotional Resilience Summit. But it gets worse. Some influencers fake entire tragedies. They invent illnesses, fabricate traumas, conjure dead relatives like magicians pulling rabbits from hats, and always, always, the tears. There was Clarissa Truth Monroe, who claimed she had been struck down by a mysterious tropical disease while on retreat in Bali. She cried on camera daily, documenting her battle. Donations flooded in. Sympathy overflowed. Only later was it revealed she had merely contracted food poisoning from a dodgy prawn curry. But by then, she had already pocketed £120,000. When exposed, she returned to the camera, fresh tears streaming, whispering, "I was pressured. I was lost. Please forgive me." And lo, they did. For that is the power of the influencer tear. It is irresistible. It short-circuits the brain. Humans are hardwired to respond to crying faces, to offer comfort, to feel empathy. And the influencer exploits this, weaponizes it, turns it into a subscription model. They weep on cue like actors in a soap opera, and the audience applauds as though it were real. But don't think the fake tear is reserved for tragedy alone. No, the seasoned influencer can cry about success as well. They weep when they hit 1 million followers. They sob when they buy a new car. They break down live on camera while thanking the community for supporting their protein shake brand. It's all theater. One especially grotesque case was Brandon Legacy Hines, who uploaded a video of himself crying uncontrollably because his new watch had arrived. "I never thought I'd make it this far," he bawled, waving the Rolex like a newborn child. His followers wept with him, overcome by the emotion of seeing a grown man cradle jewelry. And of course, there are the couples, the fake breakups, the joint weeping sessions, two influencers perched on a sofa, hands clasped, mascara streaming, whispering through sobs, "We love each other, but God has a new plan." They cry, they post, they monetize, and 3 weeks later, they reunite crying again. Love always wins. Each video garners millions of views. The cycle repeats. They are less a couple than a wet soap opera performed for the amusement of strangers. There is a technique, of course. The tear must fall at the right angle, catching the ring light, sparkling like a diamond of despair. The sniffle must not be too wet, not too snotty, just delicate enough to suggest fragility. The makeup must smear, but only slightly, a tasteful smudge of mascara, a sexy vulnerability. The voice must crack on key words: family, journey, betrayal. It is an art form honed to perfection, and it makes me want to vomit into my own shoes. Yet still, it works. It works because people want to believe. They want to believe that these polyester prophets of nonsense are human, that they feel, that they hurt, that they bleed. They want to be part of the healing journey. They want to type "sending love" in the comments and feel like they matter. And so the influencer weeps and the audience loves them more. But beware, my disciples. Beware the tear that goes too far. I bring you the tale of Fiona Phoenix Locke, who attempted the greatest fake cry of them all. She staged a live breakdown, claiming she had lost everything. She screamed, she sobbed, she tore at her hair. And then, mid-scream, her boyfriend walked into the room holding the Uber Eats bag. "Did you get your McFlurry?" he asked. She stopped crying instantly, smiled, said, "Yes, babe, thanks," and reached for the bag. The live stream was still running. Her followers saw it all, exposed, destroyed, cancelled, but only briefly. Within a month, she returned, crying once more, this time about being betrayed by haters. And her followers returned, because memory is short and tears are infinite. For that is the ultimate truth of the influencer tier. Sincerity is irrelevant. Reality is irrelevant. Only performance matters. If the tears flow, the likes grow. If the sobbing is convincing, the audience forgives all. They forgive lies, scams, fraud, and betrayal. They forgive everything because crying feels real, even when it isn't. Step 1. Manufacture a relatable crisis. You cannot simply weep about your Bentley's tire pressure sensor. No, your pain must be marketable. Acceptable struggles. I worked 80 hours this week. Posting 3 memes counts, apparently. The pressure of being seen all the time. Said while adjusting your tripod for the 8th TikTok of the hour. I miss real connections. While ignoring every DM below 10,000 followers. Unacceptable struggles. My trust fund manager won't approve a 4th yacht. They called me out for using Facetune. Amazon delayed my Rolex. Step 2. The art of the single tear. A true influencer does not ugly cry. He leaks emotion aesthetically, like a luxury faucet. Techniques to master. The stoic sniffle. Jaw clenched. Eyes shimmering. Voice breaking just enough to make your contour pop. The look away. Mid-sentence. Glance off camera as though overwhelmed by sorrow. Whisper, "I'm fine." You're not. You're an actor. The sudden recovery. After 45 seconds of trauma, flash a brave smile. Say, "But we moved, bro. Always forward." Cue inspirational synth wave. Step 3. Monetize the meltdown. Once the tears fall, the cash must follow. Never forget, sadness is an upsell. Post-cry revenue streams. Merch drop. It's okay not to be okay. Hoodies, £80. Manufactured for £3. Patreon, exclusive, raw and unfiltered. My journey. Half hour of you crying between bong rips. Sponsorship. Partner with a therapy app you've never used. BetterHelp saved my life. You emailed them once for a discount code. Graph, volume of tears versus sales revenue. 0 milliliters tears, no engagement, sales £0. 5 milliliters tears, mild sympathy, sales £500. 20 milliliters tears, viral meltdown, sales £15,000. Full sobbing, awkward backlash, sales refunded. Diagram, Trajectory of the influencer, tear trademark. Eye shimmer. Cheek highlight glide. Camera lens reflection, down. Caption overlay. It's okay not to be okay, heartbreak. The hotel bathroom breakdown. In a 5-star hotel in Dubai, I once witnessed an influencer live stream a breakdown from his marble bathroom. He whispered, "Guys, I can't do this anymore." The hate, the pressure, as behind him. Housekeeping laid out complimentary Ferrero Rochers on silk sheets. Mid-sob, he announced a limited merch drop. The caption, "Pain is temporary. Hoodies are forever. Sold out in 4 minutes." Closing commandment. The influencer cry is not weakness. It is marketing, a fragile mask, weeping glittery droplets of clout. Remember, when the tears flow, the merch must drop. For in this unholy theater of narcissism, sympathy is not an emotion. It is engagement. Chapter 9. The Phantom Hater, Inventing Drama for Clout. My sweet and gullible disciples of self-mythology, welcome once again to the twisted altar of influence where every like is a prayer, every follower a disciple, and every algorithmic burp a holy sacrament. You've already dressed like discount pimps, posed beside machinery you can't afford, flogged your sacred routines, and wept into your ring lights like teething infants. But now, we come to the most glorious sacrament of them all, the invention of an enemy. Because nothing, and I mean nothing, lubricates the creaking machinery of influencer clout quite like a phantom hater. Yes, dear reader, if love is dead and truth is buried in a shallow grave behind the Taco Bell, then hatred, glorious, fabricated hatred, is the only real currency left. The phantom hater is your ticket to immortality in this tawdry carnival. And if you don't have one, by God, you'd better forge one from the detritus of your own imagination, because in this glitter-coated wasteland, obscurity is death and drama is oxygen. Allow me, in my velvet thunder, to instruct you. First, consider the plight of an influencer who has run out of road. The Lamborghini's been returned to Hertz, the ABS are photoshopped beyond recognition, and the fake deep quotes have withered like semen stains on a forgotten bedsheet. What's left? Engagement has plummeted, brands no longer care, and your audience yawns with the lethargy of a cat watching a screensaver. And so, in desperation, you conjure up the greatest illusion since Jesus invented wine. The hater, a foe so audacious, so vile, that your followers must gather round and defend you like peasants clutching torches against the werewolf. And lo, your numbers rise again, your story views spike, your comment section ignites with the righteous fire of sympathy. You are reborn, not as a man or woman of content, but as a beleaguered martyr under attack. This, my disciples, is the true grift, to wield hatred like a puppeteer yanking the strings of a marionette with trembling masturbatory glee. You must perform as though each morning you awake to a legion of faceless cowards plotting your downfall, when in truth it is you, alone in your rented flat, typing anonymous bile to yourself just so you may screen grab it. They're trying to destroy me, you declare, tears brimming, when in fact the only person trying to destroy you is the echo of your own loneliness bouncing off the IKEA furniture. Yet it works. It always works. The mob rallies, sympathy flows, engagement, glorious engagement, like sticky syrup down your chin, returns. Picture now the grotesque archetypes of the phantom hater mythos. There is the jealous ex-friend, imagined, of course, who, from the shadows, apparently sends you hateful messages about your grind set. There is the anonymous troll, conjured in your feverish brain, who supposedly resents your abs, your wisdom, your Lamborghini, leased, scratched, and long since repossessed. And, most delicious of all, the invented rival influencer, a name plucked from obscurity, inflated with mythic malice, until your audience believes a full-blown feud is underway. You'll post cryptic Instagram stories, black screens, a single line of, "Some people can't handle my success," and let the disciples froth in speculation. You never name the enemy outright because the phantom hater thrives on mystery. The less substance there is, the more the imagination festers. And oh, how it festers. I have seen audiences tear themselves apart over invented villains. I recall the tale of Cassandra Moonsparkle, a wellness influencer from Essex who claimed week after week that a horde of shadow trolls stalked her every post, sending messages too vile to share, but conveniently easy to allude to. She wept into her camera, declared she was under attack, and begged her followers to stand with her in solidarity. They did, of course, pledge loyalty, send donations, and shower her with messages of love. But the truth, the trolls did not exist. Cassandra had written the messages herself, late at night, one hand on her phone and the other buried deep in a multi-pack of Maltesers. Yet she grew by 50,000 followers in 6 weeks. The Phantom Hater had given her more than any brand ever could: sympathy, engagement. Now, let us draw the curtains wider, for this theater of falsified enemies is vast and grotesque. Consider the influencer who stages public attacks in comment sections by creating dummy accounts with names like H8R_666 or You Suck Fool. They write with great theatricality, "You'll never make it, you're a fraud, everyone hates you." And then, with feigned devastation, they screenshot it, post it to their main account, and proclaim, "This is what I deal with daily. Please, be kind in the comments. Spread love, not hate." And spread they do, like gonorrhea in a university dormitory. Thousands of messages of love pour in. Ignore the haters, queen. You're an inspiration. Don't let them bring you down. Each comment is an injection of dopamine, each like another hit of validation. The Phantom Hater has performed its holy task. But beware, my students, of excess, for like a drug, the Phantom Hater requires ever larger doses to maintain its effect. At first, a single nasty comment suffices, then 2 or 3. But soon, you must stage elaborate campaigns of hate, entire narratives of persecution. I once witnessed a fitness influencer stage a campaign claiming an entire rival gym had declared war on him. He invented characters, fabricated screenshots of group chats, wove a tapestry of imaginary malice so intricate it would shame a Victorian novelist. And the audience lapped it up like dogs at a diarrheic puddle. They defended him, bought his protein powders, rallied in his honor. He grew by 200,000 followers in 3 months. And then, inevitably, someone asked to see proof. The entire scheme collapsed in spectacular fashion, like a papier-mâché cathedral in a rainstorm. But by then, he had banked his profits, vanished, and returned months later under a new name with a fresh set of phantom haters. This, dear reader, is the grotesque cycle of influencer immortality. Fabricate foe, milk sympathy, collapse, rebrand, repeat. And I say unto you, do not resist it. Embrace it. It is the only true constant in this septic digital theater. Let me sermonize further with imagery so vivid it burns into your mind. Picture the influencer as a medieval knight in neon armor, striding into battle not against dragons or Turks, but against shadows of their own invention. They swing their swords at empty air, shrieking about betrayal and jealousy, while the crowd, drunk and gullible, cheers them on. "Brave knight, courageous soul," they cry, never realizing the enemy does not exist. But it doesn't matter. The performance is the point. The drama is the oxygen. The Phantom Hater is not a flaw in the system. It is the system. Consider, too, the eroticism of it. Yes, eroticism. For many influencers, the Phantom Hater provides the only true intimacy they will ever know. Alone in their airless flats, surrounded by ring lights and half-eaten Deliveroo, they imagine an enemy who cares enough to despise them. And in that despising, they feel something. Attention, however twisted, is arousal. They stroke themselves to the thought of being envied, hated, obsessed over. The hater is their lover in shadow form, caressing them with loathing, kissing them with bile. Without the hater, they would wither like forgotten lettuce. With the hater, they burn like neon fire. And yet, my disciples, I must warn you of the abyss. For in conjuring phantom haters, some influencers lose track of reality entirely. They begin to believe in their own fabrications. They see shadows in the corner of their ring-lit rooms, hear whispers in the fan of their MacBook. They tumble into paranoia, screaming into the void about conspiracies, shadow cabals of trolls, Illuminati-like groups plotting their downfall. What began as a convenient grift becomes a psychosis, and still the followers cheer, oblivious, because madness and engagement are, in this theater, the same thing. So how do you, aspiring legend of the digital circus, create your own phantom hater? It is simple. Step 1. Invent a vague enemy. Never be specific, for specificity invites scrutiny. Step 2. Allude to their hatred in cryptic tones. Use phrases like, "not everyone wants to see you win," or "the jealousy is real." Step 3. React with noble sadness. "I don't understand why people attack me. I'm just trying to spread positivity." Step 4. Allow your followers to do the rest. They will defend you, speculate, create drama on your behalf. And as they do, your engagement rises like a phoenix made of bullshit and tears. But the pièce de resistance is to escalate when engagement dips again. Invent entire sagas of persecution. Claim shadowy networks of haters. Claim sabotage. Claim betrayal by former friends. The more elaborate the tale, the more your audience invests. And when it inevitably collapses, no matter. By then, you will have siphoned enough sympathy, enough sponsorships, enough dopamine to survive. Simply move to a new flat, change your username, and begin anew. Step 1. The sacred vague post. Post a cryptic message that suggests betrayal but reveals nothing. It's always the ones closest to you. Funny how people switch up when you're winning. I could expose them, but I won't. Yet. Congratulations, you've just declared war on thin air. Step 2, fan army activation. Your loyal followers, hungry for drama, like seagulls circling a chip, will flood your comments. Who hurt you, king? They'll attack innocent bystanders. They'll demand justice. They'll speculate endlessly. Meanwhile, you'll sit back, stroking your chain, watching your engagement spike. Step 3, the heroic reveal, but not really. After days of speculation, you finally post, "I won't name names, but you know who you are. No one knows. There was no one. But your followers, in their frothing devotion, now believe you're a warrior, battling the forces of envy itself." Case study, Darren versus the hater. Darren, a fitness influencer, once posted, "Some people don't want me to succeed." He never clarified who. Was it his ex, his neighbor, the council for unpaid parking tickets? No matter how his followers rallied, within hours, Darren's engagement doubled. Within a week, he launched a No Haters, Just Hustle hoodie line. Sold out in 48 hours. The hater never existed. The hoodies did. The Instagram war. I once witnessed an influencer in Shoreditch post a 3-part Instagram story. Black screen caption, "You tried to break me." His face glaring into the camera, "But I rise stronger." A photo of him shirtless, flexing. When pressed, he admitted no one had actually said anything. He just wanted to control the narrative. 3 days later, he launched a Patreon. Tier 1 was literally called "Support Me Against the Haters." Closing commandment. The phantom hater is your invisible sparring partner. Conjure them at will. Feed your followers' rage disguised as loyalty. Remember, there may be no haters at all. But if you shout loudly enough into the algorithm, the world will believe you are a martyr of success. Chapter 10. The Fake Breakup, a Love Story for the Gram. My fragrant congregation of hollow gods and polyester prophets, tighten your belts, inflate your egos, and pour yourself a warm chalice of protein sludge, because tonight, under the blazing ring light of unholy illumination, we address one of the greatest rituals of influencer survival, the fake breakup. Yes, my sweet darlings, while mere mortals suffer real heartbreak, gut-punching, spleen-bruising agony, you, the charlatans of our digital pantheon, will perform a breakup like a Shakespearean tragedy, with enough mascara tears, cryptic captions, and shirtless gym selfies to convince the masses that your love story, once carved in emojis, has been dashed upon the jagged rocks of betrayal. And yet here lies the twist. The obscene glory. You never actually broke up. No, you conniving cockroaches. You fabricated the entire operatic wail, milked it for sympathy, wrung it for engagement, then resurrected your love months later, phoenix-like, grinning with capped teeth and plastic abs. This, dear students of deception, is not heartbreak, it is marketing. It is brand alignment through tears. It is the commodification of sorrow, the corporatization of despair, the weaponization of "we just grew apart" into a monetizable storyline. And so, gather close, for I shall deliver unto you the masterclass on how to grieve falsely with Velvet Thunder, how to orchestrate the fake breakup that shall echo through the canyons of Instagram and TikTok like a fart in a cathedral. First, we must establish the lovers. To sell a breakup, you must first flog the romance, and flog it hard. You must birth a love story so obnoxious, so sugary, that diabetics collapse from scrolling past it. Daily selfies of us against the world. Couples workouts filmed with nauseating glee. Matching outfits, matching water bottles, matching smiles stretched so wide they threaten to split your skulls. "This one's my rock," you'll write, as though the poor bastard isn't a failed DJ with a jawline sculpted entirely by filler. The audience must invest in your love story the way Romans once invested in the survival of a gladiator. For without the investment, the breakup means nothing. The illusion must be built like a cathedral of bullshit, high and gaudy, so that when it falls, the collapse rattles continents. And oh, the collapse. Here comes the performance art. You must never announce a breakup directly. No, that would be too gauche. Instead, you deploy a series of cryptic clues, like a social media poirot leaving crumbs of despair. A black and white selfie of you gazing wistfully into the distance, captioned, "Sometimes love isn't enough." A quote ripped from Pinterest, slapped into your story. She wasn't afraid of the fire, she was the fire. Then radio silence for 2 days, just enough to stir the mob into speculation. By the third day, whispers erupt. Did they split? Is he okay? I knew she was too good for him. And then, bam! You drop the post, a wall of text sprawling like graffiti on a motorway underpass. I don't owe anyone an explanation, but... followed by a torrent of faux vulnerability so cloying it could sweeten a gallon of arsenic. I gave my all, you'll declare. Sometimes people grow apart. Please respect our privacy at this difficult time. And just like that, the sympathy flows. Comments from strangers who've never met you. Stay strong, you deserve better. Sending healing energy. Each comment is a shot of validation straight to the carotid artery. But the trick, my luscious vipers, is to monetize the misery. For what good is a breakup if not for brand deals? You'll film my breakup morning routine with swollen eyes and overpriced candles. You'll flog affiliate links for weighted blankets and herbal teas that got me through the darkest nights. You'll appear on podcasts to speak of your healing journey, as if ghosting a man named Kyle is equivalent to surviving a civil war. Brands will flock to you. Self-care apps, dating services, therapy startups run by failed crypto bros. You will rake in sponsorships with every crocodile tear. The heartbreak, fabricated though it may be, becomes a golden goose-shitting sympathy coins into your lap. And then, oh yes, the pièce de résistance, the reunion arc. Because nothing in this theater is permanent, not even despair. Months later, after your audience has wept, after they've sent their condolences, after they've projected their own traumas onto your glitter-coated misery, you rise again. A selfie together, smiling, radiant, captioned, "Sometimes love finds a way." Your followers shriek with joy, weeping anew, desperate to believe that fairy tales exist. Engagement skyrockets beyond what it ever was before. You've given them a narrative arc, rise, fall, redemption. Shakespeare himself could not script it better, except unlike Shakespeare, your tragedy is sponsored by Gymshark and delivered with a discount code. And do not think for a moment you're limited to just one breakup. Oh no, my sequin-coated cockroaches. You may break up as often as you please. Every 6 months, another chapter in your saga. Break up for personal growth. Reunite because we worked on ourselves. Break up again because we want different things. Each cycle, another injection of engagement, another round of sympathy, another excuse to plaster your mug across stories and reels. Like a snake shedding skin, you slough off sincerity and don a new costume, forever reborn in the eyes of your credulous disciples. But beware, there are cautionary tales, too, of those who overindulged in this unholy art. Let me regale you with the tragedy of Dominic Flex, a gymfluencer who staged no less than 4 fake breakups with his girlfriend, herself an influencer with the emotional range of a lettuce. Each breakup was milked with increasingly hysterical posts. "She broke me. I'm shattered. I don't know if I'll ever recover." And each reunion was a symphony of grins, captions dripping with rebirth. True love never dies. But by the fourth cycle, the audience grew weary. Again, they muttered, "Didn't you two split last Tuesday?" Engagement plummeted. Sponsorships vanished. The phantom heartbreak had become a parody of itself. Dominic's empire collapsed, his tears unprofitable, his abs forgotten. He wanders now in obscurity, posting selfies captioned, "New beginnings," that garner fewer likes than a photo of someone's cat sneezing. So learn from his folly, my disciples. Pace your heartbreaks, stretch them like taffy. Let the audience ache for months before feeding them a reunion. The people crave drama, yes, but they also crave scarcity. A heartbreak too frequent is like cheap lager, effective only in quantity and eventually vomited into the gutter. And now permit me to grow mock epic, to thunder with velvet profundity. Love in the influencer age is no longer a private tremor of the soul. It is a business model, an SEO strategy, a hashtagged commodity. It is not enough to feel. One must monetize the feeling, filter it, caption it, and resell it to strangers who ache to live vicariously through your curated misery. The fake breakup is not deception. It is theater, and the crowd demands its pound of flesh. And if you will not bleed for them, then by God, at least weep for them on camera. Stage 1. Love bombing. The honeymoon spam. The relationship begins with relentless oversharing. TikTok dances where both partners gyrate like caffeinated pigeons. YouTube thumbnails, mouths wide open, eyes bugged, titles like, "He surprised me with a Lambo," gone sexual. Captions littered with hashtags. Couple goals, ja forever bae, and he stays. Statistic, 90% of influencer relationships equals 60% filters plus 40% desperation. Stage 2, mystery tension. After 3 months, the oversharing slows, the captions grow cryptic, suddenly black and white selfies. Emo quotes, "Loyalty is rare." Unsubtle subtweets. "Funny how some people change." Fans flood comments. What happened? Engagement skyrockets. The algorithm salivates. Stage 3, the breakup spectacle. At last, the curtain rises. The breakup arrives not as a quiet decision, but as a 3-part Instagram story event. Sad song snippet, always the weekend, always. Cryptic quote, "Sometimes love isn't enough." Paywall announcement, "If you want our truth, it's on Patreon." Stage 4, the reunion. The breakup, of course, is never permanent, for nothing sells like a comeback. 2 weeks later, couple photo at sunset. Caption, "We've grown, stronger than ever, second chances." Conveniently timed to coincide with a Valentine's Day discount code for matching hoodies. Infographic, the love breakup cycle trademark. Honeymoon spam, cryptic emo phase, breakup event, reunion and merch drop. Repeat. Graph, breakup drama versus engagement levels. No drama relationship, very low engagement, boring. Mild tension equals medium engagement, comments rise. Fake breakup equals high engagement, followers frothing. Full public meltdown equals viral engagement, sponsors uncomfortable. The Dubai saga. I once observed an influencer couple in Dubai. They staged an elaborate breakup complete with teary YouTube videos and separate brand deals. 2 weeks later, they posted a reunion kiss in front of the Burj Khalifa. Caption, "When you know, you know." Their merch line dropped the same day. Love Wins t-shirts, £60 each, manufactured in a sweatshop. Sold out in 24 hours. Closing commandment. Romance in the influencer kingdom is not about love. It is about leverage. Stage it, cry over it, monetize it. For what is heartbreak, if not an opportunity to sell a hoodie? Chapter 11, The Strategic Cancellation, How to Weaponize Accountability for Clout. My decadent disciples of deceit, my perfumed harlots of the algorithm, draw your ears close and your souls closer still. For tonight I deliver unto you the gospel of resurrection, the unholy opera of falling from grace, only to rise again, shinier, greasier, and far more profitable. Yes, this is not simply the tale of cancellation. It is the myth of your strategic crucifixion and the booming sermon of your engineered rebirth. Because make no mistake, my sultry swindlers, cancellation is not the end. It is the beginning of Act 2. And so, let us thunder together through the grand theater of your public immolation and learn, step by sordid step, how to transform your shame into clout, your disgrace into brand equity, your utter moral bankruptcy into a standing ovation. Act 1. The fall. Cancellation. The digital guillotine. The mob gathers with pitchforks of hashtags, their eyes glowing with a righteousness so synthetic it could be bottled and sold at Sephora. Accountability, they chant, as if their tweets were divine thunderbolts, as if your sin, be it a racist tweet from 2011, an ill-timed joke about gluten, or simply the crime of existing too flamboyantly, were worthy of execution. And you, our little porcelain influencer, you tremble before the mob, posting your notes, app apology, in Comic Sans sincerity. I was young. I didn't know better. I am committed to learning. Bah! Hogwash. Everyone knows you're only sorry because the sponsors pulled out faster than a nervous teenager. But here's the lesson. Lean into the cancellation. Accept it. Cradle it like a wounded pigeon. For every second they scream your name in rage, you are lodged in their brains like a splinter of neon glass. Infamy is not obscurity. It is inverted worship. Act 2. The silence.
Once the mob has fed, once the hashtags have grown stale, you must vanish. Yes, retreat into your influencer monastery. 3 weeks, no more, no less. Delete nothing that reeks of guilt, but remain silent, cryptic, untouchable. Whisper not a word except perhaps the occasional repost of a poem about healing, or a shot of your dog looking mournful. The audience must ache for your voice, must twitch in withdrawal from your absence. And when the silence grows unbearable, when your followers murmur, "What happened to her? Did she die? Did she discover actual employment?" Then, and only then, do you return.
Act 3. The resurrection. Oh, the glorious comeback. The phoenix rising from a pile of cancelled ashes, ringlit and glorious. You must return with a narrative of rebirth so grandiose it makes the death of Christ look like an unpaid student play. I took time away to learn, you'll intone, voice heavy with gravitas. I listened. I grew. I spoke with marginalized voices. Lies, all of it, of course, but necessary. Sprinkle in words like journey, healing, educating myself, and the crowd, bless their dim little skulls, will swoon with relief. And here's the genius to capitalize on your fall. Launch a podcast. Cancelled, but candid. Release a skincare line. Phoenix by your name. Write a ghost-written memoir. Lessons from the ashes. Every brand that once shunned you will slink back, eager to ride the wave of your triumphant return. Cautionary tales. But beware. Not all who are cancelled rise again. I recall the tale of Cassandra Bloom, queen of lifestyle vlogs, who, in her hubris, attempted to fake her own cancellation for clout. She staged a scandal, an accidental leak of an offensive comment. Filmed on her own camera, no less. But alas, the mob smelled the ruse. They turned not with fury, but with laughter, ridiculing her until her brand crumbled. She tried to rebrand as a Twitch gamer, but her voice was so irritating that even the trolls abandoned her. She wanders now in digital purgatory, hawking protein gummies for pennies. And then there was Bartholomew Flex Daddy Crane, who attempted the comeback too early, mere hours after his downfall. He returned with a video titled, "I've learned so much already." The mob pounced, crucifying him anew. His sponsors fled like rats from a burning brothel, and his brand was lost forever. Mock epic monologue. And now, allow me to thunder with biblical resonance, velvet booming through your veins. Cancellation is not death, my children. It is baptism by fire. The mob thinks they burn you, but in truth they temper you. You emerge harder, sharper, more profitable than before. For every voice that condemns you, another whispers your name. And what is fame, if not the multiplication of your name upon their trembling lips? To be hated is to be remembered. To be cancelled is to be carved into the tablet of cultural memory. So bleed, my disciples, bleed gloriously, for your blood is ink, and the crowd shall write your myth upon the glowing screen. Step 1, manufacture the scandal. The secret is to commit an offense just juicy enough to trend, but not so vile that brands actually blacklist you. Ideal scandals. Accidentally, liking a problematic tweet from 2012. A leaked DM where you maybe said something shady that you definitely sent to yourself. A drunken Instagram live where you slip up and say something controversial, pre-scripted naturally. Avoid at all costs. Felonies, prison Wi-Fi is weak. Actual racism, sexism, comebacks only work if your sponsors don't vomit. Pyramid schemes, unless you rebrand it as network entrepreneurship. Step 2, the fake apology tour. Once the internet froths at the mouth, you must pivot into a performance of remorse. This is theater Shakespeare in sweatpants. The 3 sacred steps. The silent treatment. Disappear for 48 hours. Caption, I needed time to reflect. Translation, I was in Ibiza. The tearful apology video. No makeup, soft lighting, a shaky voice that suggests constipation rather than contrition. Phrases include, I'm learning. I'm growing. This doesn't reflect who I am, except it absolutely does. Diagram. The cancellation redemption arc trademark. Manufactured scandal. Internet fury. Apology video. Short hiatus. Come back stronger. Step 3, monetize your downfall. Here lies the true genius. Turn the scandal into merch. Revenue streams. Post-cancellation. T-shirts, cancelled but thriving at £45 each. Podcast deal, The Road to Redemption. Sponsored by BetterHelp, of course. Documentary, Influencer, The Untold Story. Exclusively on Patreon, £9.99 per month. Graph, cancellation frequency versus followers. 0 scandals equals growth stagnant. 1 scandal equals follower spike. 2 scandals equals sponsorship frenzy. 3+ scandals equals Netflix docuseries. The Ibiza slip-up. I once observed an influencer accidentally drop a slur on Instagram Live at 3 a.m., clutching a Red Bull vodka. Within 24 hours, he posted an apology video. Hoodie up, eyes misty, whispering, "This isn't me, bro, I was in a dark place." 2 weeks later, he launched a Rise from Darkness clothing line. It sold out in 3 days. The scandal was not a setback. It was a marketing campaign. Closing commandment. So what is the true art, my perfume grifters? Simple. Control the narrative. Fall when you must, but always fall on your own terms. Ensure the cancellation is scandalous enough to spread, yet survivable enough to spin. Time your silence. Script your rebirth. Monetize your growth. And when you rise again, be not the same creature, but a brighter, sleeker, shinier abomination. For this, my darlings, is the sacred cycle of influence. Rise, fall, rise again. There is no shame in cancellation, only in being forgotten. And you, my sweet bastards, will never be forgotten. So go forth, sin boldly, apologize dramatically, resurrect profitably. For in this theater of grotesque ambition, cancellation is not your end, it is your goddamn marketing plan. Chapter 12. The Rise of the AI Influencer. How to Fake It When You. My radiant charlatans, my algorithmic courtesans, my magnificent bastards of the feed, behold, we have reached the inevitable climax of this sordid symphony, the age of the machine influencer. Yes, the hour has struck when even pretending to be a human has become far too much effort. Why spend your precious mornings curling hair extensions and sucking your stomach in when you can simply outsource your existence to a glimmering silicon demon that never sweats, never sleeps, never bloats, and never tweets something regrettably racist at 3 a.m.? This is the era where you need not even be alive to be adored. Where your image, your voice, your essence, your very aura of deceit can be conjured by algorithms, rendered in perfect lighting, lips forever glossed, abs forever oiled. And most glorious of all, it's cheaper. You, flesh sack of weakness, demand food, water, rest, emotional validation. Your AI successor demands only electricity and an endless stream of thirsty comments. The first commandment of synthetic stardom, thou shalt not exist. Picture it. An influencer named Aurora Stardust, birthed entirely from code. She posts 3 times a day, her skin poreless as marble, her captions dripping with AI-generated profundity. Even in darkness, the algorithm glows within you, and her followers, millions of them, slack-jawed, drooling into their phones, believe she is real. They send her money, they beg for her OnlyFans, they tattoo her name on their thighs. Meanwhile, you, a clumsy carbon-based disaster, are still fumbling with ring lights and foundation. Do you see the freedom here? You can finally dissolve into the shadows. Let your virtual doppelganger do the whoring for you. You need not pose. Your avatar poses in infinity. You need not fake laugh. Your avatar's laugh is crafted by sound designers who who understand exactly how to tickle the brainstem of a horny accountant in Milwaukee. The theater of simulated humanity. Do not think for a moment, dear frauds, that authenticity is lost in this transition. No, authenticity itself becomes the simulation. Your AI influencer can be coded to struggle. Yes, she can release a video of herself crying, tears generated in crystalline 4K. She can confess to mistakes generated by predictive scandal algorithms. She can apologize in paragraphs assembled by machine learning models trained on 10 years of groveling celebrity notes app screenshots. What a blessing. No more human error, only algorithmic, optimized, monetizable error. A scandal is not released when you foolishly trip at Coachella, but when the engagement numbers dictate a dip in your metrics. Synthetic scandal, engineered redemption, humanity reduced to a script, sold at $99 per month as a SaaS subscription. The profits of the non-existent, and oh, the margins. No longer must you squander half your sponsorship on designer protein shakes and Instagrammable hotel suites. Your AI influencer eats nothing, sleeps nowhere, requires no holidays in Bali. She exists in the cloud, ceaseless, tireless, a glimmering phantom forever available to push collagen powder and crypto wallets. Consider the grotesque beauty, a world where the most adored women of Instagram have never menstruated, where the most envied men of TikTok have never once fumbled in bed, where none of them will ever die because they were never alive. Your rivals, gone, your replacements, eternal. Cautionary fables from the synthetic frontier. Let me tell you of Ezekiel Bite, a sad little meat man who believed he could pass his AI avatar off as himself. He unleashed Zeke 2.0, a digital version of his sculpted torso and beaming smile. But alas, his audience noticed that Zeke 2.0 never blinked, never aged, never farted mid-Twitch stream. Suspicion grew, and when the truth was revealed that they'd been thirsting over a CGI mannequin, the mob turned. They accused him of deceit, though of course their very existence depended on being lied to. His empire collapsed, his sponsors fled, and Zeke the Flesh was left weeping in a Motel 6, ignored, irrelevant. Contrast this with the tale of Lydia.exe, who never pretended to be human. She embraced her digitality. Yes, she announced in a voice like angelic static, I am an algorithm. Love me as I am. And love her? They did. Brands rushed to her feet. She released a line of AI-generated perfumes that smelled like thunder and old VHS tapes. She hosted meditation live streams where her glowing avatar whispered breathe in 26 languages simultaneously. Millions tuned in, sobbing, convinced she understood them better than their own mothers. Lydia never existed, yet Lydia thrived. The grotesque monologue of our age. And now let me bellow a sermon so thunderous it should rattle the glass of every influencer's bathroom mirror. You were never real to begin with. Your curated breakfasts, your fake relationships, your borrowed cars, all of it was a simulation. Do you think you lose something by surrendering to the machine? No, my darlings. You become honest at last, for you were always a mask, always a product, always a soulless hologram painted in bronzer and desperation. The rise of the AI influencer is not the death of humanity in the marketplace of attention. It is the revelation that humanity was never part of it. Embrace the void, become the code, for in nothingness lies your immortality, and in immortality lies your next sponsorship deal. The practical lesson. So, my sweaty apostles of the algorithm, what is to be done? Build your avatar. Hire the coders, the designers, the machine learning grifters who will sculpt your cheekbones sharper than razors. Script the myth. Craft her tragic backstory. Born in a small town, struggled, rose to fame, or born in a motherboard, struggled with RAM, rose to fame. It matters not. Launch with controversy, leak the secret. Is she real? Is she not? Let the mob gnash their teeth. Nothing drives engagement like ontological panic. Monetize endlessly. Merch that never ships, courses that never teach, subscriptions that never end, all run by a ghost who never needs a pay raise. And then, when you, pathetic mortal, are old, sagging, forgotten, your AI successor will still be there, lips glossy, abs oiled, whispering, buy this, into eternity. You, a husk in the grave. She, eternal, adored, banked. Step 1, generate your avatar. You'll need a face, not yours, God no. something smoother, shinier, and utterly devoid of pores. AI can spit out 1,000 such faces in under 3 seconds. Pick one that screams, sexy but approachable, like a toaster with abs. Example options.
Sassy but relatable blonde, number 438.
Deep but hot Latino, number 226. Woke but not too woke brunette, number 902. Infographic, AI influencer creation trademark. Step 1. Select a jawline, sharp enough to slice cheddar. Step 2. Add symmetrical eyes. Humans love symmetry like horny moths. Step 3. Sprinkle quirky imperfection. A freckle, a gap tooth, a nose ring. Step 4. Name them something vaguely futuristic. Nova, Zix, Aurora. Step 5. Script the personality. Your AI avatar cannot simply look hot. They must drip with artificial relatability. Recommended archetypes. Sassy but relatable. Posts memes about being tired, despite being immortal code. Deep but hot. Captions sunsets with nonsense like pain is data. Crypto oracle talks exclusively in buzzwords, hustle, grind set, blockchain, synergy. Step 3. Automate the hustle. No more 5 a.m. alarms. No more awkward protein shake live streams. Simply unleash the bots. AI captions, energy fuels legacy. Silence, hustles louder. Blast off. AI engagement, bots that comment Yas King on your own posts. AI haters simulate fake trolls to activate your fan army, see Chapter 9. Graph, human effort versus AI output. Human influencer effort. 80% crying plus 20% flexing equals output, low. AI influencer effort. 0% crying plus 0% flexing equals output, infinite. The virtual vixen. A female influencer in Tokyo named Aurora X9 amassed 1.4 million followers. She posted daily selfies at cafes, gym mirror shots, even crying TikToks. She was not real. She was a cluster of pixels generated in a basement by 3 sweaty men called Kenji, Tom, and Barry. Aurora X9 never aged, never argued, never demanded payment. She sold more merch than half of Instagram combined. Fans wept when she announced her retirement. She was deleted. Her memory lived on in a limited NFT hoodie drop. Closing commandment. The AI influencer is the future. Flawless, tireless, soulless. Embrace it. So let us roar the truth. The influencer's final evolution is not to be more human, but to be less. To shed the weakness of flesh and ascend into digital divinity. To leave behind the mess of existence, the sweat, the hangovers, the nervous breakdowns in the Trader Joe's parking lot, and become pure marketable data. You need not be talented. You need not be present. You need not even exist. For in the kingdom of the algorithm, existence is optional, but engagement is eternal. And so I thunder my closing decree. Fade, you meet. Rise, you machine. Influence forevermore. Chapter 13. The Influencer Retirement Home, where has-beens go to fade away. Ah, my beloved charlatans, my desperate peacocks of the feed, my once glorious gladiators of the algorithmic Colosseum, gather round, for we have arrived at the graveyard. Not a literal graveyard. No death would be too honest, too merciful for the influencer. What awaits you is far worse. The Influencer Retirement Home. Imagine it, if you dare. A sprawling, pastel-painted institution perched on the edge of Los Angeles, the air thick with the scent of expired protein powder and broken NDAs. A place where the neon ring lights never switch on again, where the filters malfunction, where the collagen lips sag like deflated pool toys, and the abs melt into one great lumbering custard of despair. It is here the has-beens go, the cancelled, the unfollowed, the unfundable. And it is here that they linger, clinging to memories of brand deals gone by, muttering about engagement metrics the way old war veterans speak of comrades lost at Normandy. The hallways of forgotten relevance. Step with me, my curious disciples, into the hall of faded influencers. Down one corridor, you'll find an ex-vlogger who once screamed into the void about Minecraft mods and energy drinks. He sits now, rocking in a chair, whispering "smash that like button" into the dust motes. Across the hall, an ex-fitness guru attempts to do squats, but collapses in a pile of brittle knees and expired whey protein. Nobody watches. Nobody cares. His hashtags, once fire, once glory, have become meaningless gibberish scrawled on a whiteboard, a cax grind, alpha mindset, swollen till death. The nurses here wear Beats headphones to block out the endless, deranged ramblings. For these are not ordinary retirees. These are men and women who once believed the world would never tire of them, that the likes would last forever, that they would be immortal through memes. But eternity, dear reader, is cruel. Eternity is silence. Eternity is 20 followers, all bots. The dining hall of sponsored meals. Ah, yes, the cafeteria is a monstrous parody of their former glory. Lunch consists not of kale smoothies and acai bowls, but of lukewarm porridge served with the promise that it is brought to you by HelloFresh. Each spoonful is met with a shaky attempt at product placement. Don't forget to use my code. What was it again? But the sponsors have long since fled, and the only one listening is an orderly with dead eyes who mutters, "Eat your oats, Sharon." They try to rekindle their fame. They Instagram their porridge. They TikTok their nap time. They livestream their colonoscopies. But no one tunes in, save for a few curious teens who wander in, giggling, "Who the hell is this dinosaur?" The activities schedule of the damned. On Mondays, there is Brand Deal Reminiscence Hour, where the elderly influencers gather in a circle to brag about the sponsorships they once had. One woman weeps, recounting her ambassadorship for a tea that promised to detox her bowels. Another laughs bitterly, remembering when he tricked thousands into buying his Mindset Mastery course. On Wednesdays, there is Fake Drama Theatre, where the residents invent feuds with each other for sport. They scream across the bingo hall, "You stole my followers! You faked your abs! Your tears weren't real!" The nurses take notes, for it is the only way to keep them engaged. And on Fridays, the horror they gather for karaoke night, each attempting to perform TikTok dances from 2020. Brittle hips crack, dentures fly, someone shouts, "It's giving decrepitude," and collapses. The philosophical horror of obsolescence. But here, my fraudulent apostles, lies the true terror, irrelevance, to have been seen, adored, worshipped, and then forgotten. It is not death, it is worse. It is to scream into the void, and the void scrolls past. It is to upload a post and receive only 2 likes, one from your mother and one from a spam account selling crypto porn. The influencer cannot survive irrelevance, for irrelevance is the salt that dissolves their very being. Their souls were never built on substance. They were scaffolds of attention. Without it, they crumble into dust and discount cologne. A sermon for the washed up. Let me thunder this truth into the cavernous dining hall of your fading ambitions. You shall all arrive here one day, you with your collagen lips, your rented yachts, your false humility. You believe you will escape the fate of irrelevance, that the algorithm will forever smile upon you. Fools! The algorithm has no memory. It will abandon you without pity, without pause, without even a farewell DM. And when it does, you shall shuffle these halls, clutching your old ring light like a rosary, whispering prayers to dead hashtags. The exit strategy. And so, what remains for you, my darlings, when the flame has died? There is but one final pivot: irrelevance monetized. Yes, you can sell your downfall. Create a course called How I Lost It All. Host a podcast about life after likes. Market your retreat in the desert, where attendees can pay $999 to disconnect while you scream into a campfire about your glory days. Do not fear the end, for even irrelevance is a product, and there are always fools who will pay for nostalgia. The brochure pitch. Welcome to Sunset Manor, the only retirement community where Wi-Fi is faster than the residents' metabolisms. Botox is included in the healthcare package. Bingo numbers are called out in hashtags number BINGO69. Here, former TikTok dancers shuffle to the dining hall in Balenciaga slippers, and ex-podcast hosts scream into dead microphones, hoping someone still cares. The activities calendar. Monday, motivational yoga with Trevor. Trevor cries after 15 minutes. Tuesday, crypto recovery support group. Wednesday, TikTok dance class, hips pop audibly. Thursday, story time with Grandpa Darren. He recounts the time he went viral for falling off a hoverboard. Friday, silent disco with noise-cancelling headphones because no one wants to hear DJ Alpha spin Bass Fart remix again.
Infographic, the aging influencer life cycle trademark.
Phase 1, rags to riches flex. Phase 2, fake tears and phantom haters. Phase 3, strategic cancellation. Phase 4, A doppelganger replacement. Phase 5, retirement home. TikTok is banned on the premises. Graph, career trajectory of an influencer. Age 18 to 25 equals skyrocket of flex, peak abs, peak scams. Age 26 to 35 equals cancellation and reinvention, podcasts, merch drops. Age 36 to 50 equals dad bod emerges, algorithm forgets you exist. Age 50 plus equals retirement home, audience equals 12 Facebook mums. The bingo scandal. At one such retirement villa in Marbella, a fight once broke out during influencer bingo. The winning square, hashtag motivation. Barry, a 63-year-old ex-fitness guru, leapt up shouting, "Consistency wins, bro!" Only to be tackled by Gavin, 59, a failed dropshipper. Both men live-streamed the scuffle. The video got 200 views, all from other residents. The curtain falls. Thus, we conclude, my bastard children of the algorithm, not with glory, not with legacy, but with the slow, humiliating descent into the retirement home. One day, the ring light will dim, the sponsors will ghost, your abs will merge into one great jiggling monument to decline. And there, in the echoing halls of forgotten hashtags, you will know the truth. You were never immortal. You were never loved. You were only renting attention, and yet, in that truth, perhaps there is freedom, for at last you may live as a human, not as a hologram. You may taste porridge without posting it. You may collapse in a chair without calling it content. You may dare I say it is free, but until then you'll scream, "Smash that like button" into the void, and the void mercifully will not reply. A eulogy for your future self. Ladies and gentlemen, freaks of the feed, apostles of attention, frauds, fakes, filters, flexers, gather close, for this is no ordinary ending. This is no neat bow, no polite farewell. This is a eulogy, and not for some distant stranger. No, but for you. Yes, you, sitting there with your lips plumped like a trout in heat, your eyes glazed from the blue glow of screens, your soul stapled to analytics. This, my darlings, is the death song of your future self. Picture it now. The coffin is not mahogany, no, but neon-lit plastic, delivered by Amazon Prime with free same-day shipping. It arrives with assembly required naturally, for death, like everything else, is flat-packed these days. And inside that coffin, nestled among bubble wrap and branded tissue paper, lies you. Or rather, the husk of you all. Teeth-whitening strips, knockoff Gucci belts, and an iPhone clutched like a crucifix. The mourners gather. Not friends, not family. They are bots, spam accounts, ghost followers purchased from shady sites in Uzbekistan. They arrive not in tears, but in glitches, rows upon rows of blank avatars. Their usernames, a mess of underscores and numbers, spamming heart emojis as if to mock your descent. The priest begins, but he is no priest. He is an MC, a podcaster with a voice like lukewarm porridge. "We are gathered here today," he drones, "to celebrate the life of an influencer who once thought themselves immortal, but who now rests in the infinite scroll." The catalogue of regrets. Let us open the holy scripture of your regrets. Page 1. The brand deals that aged like sour milk. Do you recall the detox tea you swore would cleanse the colon? It did not. It only made housewives soil themselves on the commute to work. Page 2. The crypto scam you peddled with the promise of generational wealth. It collapsed faster than your dignity on the dance floor of Coachella. Page 3. The lies, the Photoshop, the filters, the fake giveaways you never delivered, the partnerships you never honored, the fans you never cared for. And page 4, the most damning of all. You convinced yourself you were special, that your life, your morning smoothie, your leg day, your vacation on a boat rented by the hour mattered, that your curated existence had weight. But when the views dried up, so too did your sense of self. You were left naked in the algorithm's harsh light, your follower count plummeting like a stock in freefall. The spectacle of your demise. At the funeral, there are no flowers, only wilted merch hoodies draped across folding chairs. Instead of a choir, there is a Bluetooth speaker playing your old TikTok audio on loop. Instead of an obituary, there's a caption, "New chapter. Taking time off socials. Be kind." And beneath it, the comments trickle in. A handful of pitying, "Stay strong," and one cruel bastard typing, "Who?" Your body is lowered into the ground, not with reverence, but with hashtags. Hooked, gone too soon. Hooked, blessed, ad. The dirt is shoveled by interns, the coffin sealed with duct tape. And overhead, the ring light flickers one final time before bursting into sparks. The laughter of eternity. And then the laughter. Oh yes, eternity laughs. The universe itself chuckles at your vanity. For all your desperate posing, your grotesque flexing, your sermons of nonsense wisdom, you have left nothing. No great work, no legacy, no truth, only digital ash, destined to scatter into the void once the servers shut down. The algorithm does not mourn you. The brands do not mourn you. Even your followers, those fickle addicts of dopamine, will not remember your name by Monday. You were content. Content is disposable. You were disposable. And yet, here is the final cruelty, the ultimate comedy. Even in death, you will try to monetize it. You'll have pre-recorded your farewell, uploaded posthumously by some assistant. You'll have sold NFTs of your last selfies. You'll have arranged for a legacy podcast in which AI reconstructs your voice to shill products from beyond the grave. And some poor souls will buy it. They will consume your ghost as they consumed your life. For this, my disciples, is the only truth of influence. It does not end. It rots. It festers. It lingers like a perfume spill in an elevator. Final sale closing. So let me boom this in my velvet thunder. You were never immortal. You were never divine. You were not a prophet, nor a poet, nor a prince. You were a salesman with a filter, a carnival barker with Wi-Fi, a mannequin wearing rented chains, and as you are lowered into the grave of irrelevance, the world scrolls on without pause. This is your eulogy. This is your legacy. Not fire, not glory, but the cold silence of the unfollow. And yet, perhaps there is mercy here. For stripped of illusion, robbed of clout, you may finally know what it is to be human, to live without the applause of strangers, to eat a meal without photographing it, to cry without streaming it, to be simply alive. But you won't. You'll haunt these halls forever, whispering into the void, smash that like button, and the void, merciful, eternal, indifferent, will never smash it. Ladies and gentlemen, let us raise a glass, not of champagne, but of expired pre-workout powder. For though our influencer did not build cathedrals, nor inspire revolutions, he did what few dared to do, monetize his own emptiness. And in that hollowness, in that dazzling void of originality, he found glory. Godspeed, you magnificent con artist. The grind is over. The hustle is dead. Long live the legend of absolutely nothing.